Live from Boise, Idaho, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's a preseason opener as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. It's the first of two preseason games this weekend as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads tonight in Boise. And tomorrow, the Grizzlies will act as the home team at Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls. While the Grizzlies last hit the ice for a game on April 12th, they defeated Rapid City 6-3. They had an outstanding third period highlighted by an Adam Berg shorthanded goal. And there were a lot of positives, despite the fact that it may not have been a great record in the win-loss column. Grizzlies had a lot of positives for the second straight year. The Grizzlies won multiple league awards as Flocka Solano was the league's sales rookie of the year. And the Grizzlies won an award for specialty jersey of the year, and that was on fishing night when the Grizzlies hooked the Steelheads 6-5 in overtime on a Neil Shea game winner. A lot has changed since then, and unfortunately, a lot of it is not necessarily good news from our perspective. It's kind of tough to talk about, and it's not fun to talk about, but since this is the first game that we have had since April 12th, we got some tough stuff to talk about. On May 11th, tragedy hit the Utah Grizzlies family as Kevin Bruder, the Grizzlies CEO, he was president of the team, he was general manager of the Maverick Center, and he was also the ECHL's board of directors. He was the head of the board of directors. He passed away at the age of 56 while enjoying the great outdoors of the state of Utah. No doubt his legacy is one of leadership, generosity, and service. He leaves behind a community that was certainly stronger with him in it. And we very, very much miss him. And really over the circumstances we've had over the last 5 months, we miss him more than ever. He was a great man, and we will honor him all season long. In fact, the Grizzlies game pucks they'll have for the 2025-20 season will be in honor of Kevin Bruder, and every Grizzlies broadcast we do this season will be in his honor. So that was certainly a tough one to take in the middle of May, as Kevin Bruder looked like he was in the prime of life, and unfortunately, he was taken at the age of 56. Sometime in the month of June, it was announced that the Grizzlies were looking to sell the team. The ownership was looking to find a buyer, and on September 9th, the Grizzlies were sold to a group called the Pro Hockey Partners LLC, and they will relocate the Grizzlies to Trenton, New Jersey, following at the conclusion of the 2025-26 season. So that means that this season upcoming for the Grizzlies, the two preseason games, the 72 regular season games, and hopefully a playoff run will be the Utah Grizzlies' final hunt. And with that comes a ton of emotion, a ton of things to talk about. Obviously, we're here in the building of our arch rivals, the Idaho Steelheads, and this will be the final preseason in Utah Grizzlies history this weekend. And obviously, the home opener on October 25th. It will be the final home opener in team history. And obviously, we've made a ton of great memories over the last 31 years. The Grizzlies came over from Denver in the summer of 1995. The Grizzlies came in part. Really, there was really two reasons why. One, the Colorado Avalanche showed up, and two, Salt Lake City needed a pro hockey team, and the Grizzlies came in, and for 3 decades plus, Utah Grizzlies were that outlet. And really for 30 years straight, they were the only pro outlet in the state of Utah, and they kept the flame and spirit of professional hockey alive and well. And there were certainly some great moments. The 1996 Turner Cup. You think about 6 great years in the International Hockey League, 4 years in the American Hockey League, and this is the 21st season that the Grizzlies are in the ECHL. There's been so many great players, so many great memories. You think about it, I talked with Jay Stevens with the Utah Puck Report earlier today, and one of the things we talked about was the memories. A lot of first dates happen at Maverick Center for Grizzlies games. A lot of marriages, their first date, maybe their second date, was to a Utah Grizzlies game. And those memories are going to live forever. No matter what happens to the team after this season, those memories last forever. And really, I don't think you can underestimate the importance of what the Utah Grizzlies meant to pro hockey in the state of Utah and in the Salt Lake Valley in particular. So with that, there's a ton of emotions. And obviously, they always say fan is short for fanatic, and everybody's kind of going through it right now. For everybody in the Grizzlies office, I know that everybody's been strong and resilient, and you can't underestimate the power of everybody in the Grizzlies office as we've really had a tough time. And really the toughest part is knowing that come April, May, I think the Grizzlies are hoping obviously June with the deep playoff run, whenever that time is, we'll be looking for jobs. And hopefully we will find some opportunities to do what we continue to love. And after all, for me, this is not some fun hobby. I'm trying to make a living, and I feel that I'm pretty good at what I do. And so hopefully, whether it's April, May, or June, or whenever this final hunt comes to an end, hopefully I'll be able to find an opportunity. And while we're doing it, we will definitely remember Kevin Bruder throughout the season. We will honor him at our home opener on October 25th as the Grizzlies take on these same Idaho Steelheads. That is 15 days from now. We got some hockey this weekend. We'll face the Steelheads in the first of 2 preseason games. Dylan Wells will get the start in net. And obviously Saturday night will be in Idaho Falls at Mountain America Center as the Grizzlies will take on the Steelheads once again. The regular season opener for the Grizzlies will be on October 17th as they take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. And then the Grizzlies will head to Atlanta as the Grizzlies will face the Gladiators on October 18th and 19th. And then the Grizzlies can conclude the 4-game road trip to start the regular season here in Boise on October 24th. Thanks to everybody who's supported the Grizzlies through the last 31 years. And, you know, we're going to make sure to have a lot of fun this season, regardless of what happens at the conclusion of the season. By the way, the Grizzlies have a new coaching staff as well. We'll introduce you to the Grizzlies coaches on the other side. Grizzlies have an almost entirely new defensive unit this year. However, in the 12 forwards that are in the lineup tonight, 9 of them are returners. There's a ton of potential with the 3 forwards that are new to the Grizzlies. And we'll tell you about those guys on the other side. We'll introduce you to the coaches, and we will get ready for hockey, which face-off should be about 18 minutes from now here in Boise, Idaho. Looks like a good crowd's filing in here for the preseason opener. When we come back, we'll talk about the coaches, and we'll talk about some of the returning players for the Grizzlies as well. We are in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 15 minutes from now, and we're in Boise for the first of 2 preseason games. There's quite a few returning players for the Grizzlies. In fact, 9 of the 12 forwards in the lineup tonight are returning Grizzlies. Neil Shea's back for his second season in a Utah uniform. He comes over from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Last year in 36 games, he had 19 goals and 20 assists. Reed Lepster was unbelievable in the last 2 months of the regular season. He had 19 goals and 27 assists in 67 games. He led the Grizzlies in scoring after February 1st as he had 30 points in his last 32 games. Mick Messner is also back this season. He led all Utah forwards with 194 shots on goal last season. He scored 16 goals and 24 assists. Dylan Fitz is back once again. He returns for his fourth full season in Utah. It will be his 5th season in total. And when he appears in a regular season game for the first time, he will become just the 4th Grizzly to have appeared in games in 5 different seasons. So it's good to have Dylan back in the lineup. And 192 games all time with the Grizzlies. Fitz has 51 goals and 53 assists. Luke Manning's back once again. He ended last season red hot as he had 11 points in his last 8 games, including a 2-goal performance in the final game of the regular season on April 12th as Utah defeated Rapid City 6-3. Griffin Ness is back once again. He scored 3 goals and 7 assists in 14 games with Utah late in the season after he was acquired in a trade with the Toledo Walleye. Forwards Riley Connors and Evan Friesen are back once again. Connors made a strong impression in the final month of the regular season, and Evan Friesen was outstanding in a handful of games towards the end of the year. Both Connors and Friesen have AHL contracts with the Colorado Eagles. We mentioned it's an almost entirely new defensive unit for the Grizzlies this season. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I want to talk about the 3 forwards that are making their Grizzlies debut tonight. Obviously, it's kind of an unofficial debut with this just being the preseason. But I really like the potential of Tyler Gratton, Ty Voigt, as well as Jack Ricketts. If you think about Ricketts, he was an unbelievable performer at the college level last season. Ricketts at Quinnipiac College in 38 games last year had 20 goals and 7 assists. He's currently on an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. That's right, he's a Roadrunners contract guy. Before he played at Quinnipiac, he was an outstanding performer at Holy Cross University for 4 seasons. He was team captain at Holy Cross during the 2023-24 campaign. We mentioned it at the top. Tyler Gratton led the Reading Royals with 20 goals last season, and he signed with Utah on August 1st. He was a standout, and he was the captain of the 2023-24 Arizona State Sun Devils team. So you can talk about the leadership. Gratton, a former college captain, Ricketts, a former college captain. Those guys are going to bring a lot to the table. And Bratton Green brings a lot of size. Listed at 6'2", 187 pounds. He does look a little bit bigger than that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on the ice. He might be instrumental in front of the net in Utah power plays this season. And Ty Voigt, he's not a very big guy, 5'10", 172 pounds. He's a former 5th-round draft pick by the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 2021, and he signed a 3-year NHL entry-level deal with Toronto back in December of 2021. Last year in 63 games with Cincinnati, Voigt had 8 goals and 29 assists. So that's the forwards for the Grizzlies that will be in the lineup tonight. We'll go over the lineup a little bit later on in the pregame show, but there's certainly a lot of potential with all the new forwards, and really there's a lot of good forwards back for the Grizzlies this season. And even though the top 3 scorers are not back this year, 5 of the top 8 scorers for the Grizzlies from last season are returning, and all of them are forwards. When we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, we'll go over the defensive unit, and we'll also introduce you to the coaches if we have some time. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. There's only 2 defensemen that have previous experience with the Grizzlies. Luke Salem is back for a second stint. He made his professional debut with the Grizzlies against Idaho on March 29th, 2024. He appeared in 2 games of the Grizzlies at the end of the 2023-24 season. Last year, he split time with Indy and Kalamazoo, and he was acquired in a trade for future considerations with Kalamazoo on August 19th. Luke Lemaster is back, and he certainly made a strong impression towards the end of last season. He had 1 goal in 13 games at the end of last year. Last season, he started at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and he is 6 feet, 187 pounds. This will be his first full season as a pro. There's a lot of talent and potential among the defensive unit. Grizzlies pick up Aiden Hansen-Bukata, who played at the Ohio State University last year, and in 38 games, he led the Buckeyes with 29 assists. He also played in 1 game with the AHL's Syracuse Crunch. He signed with the Grizzlies on July 16th, and he could be instrumental to the Grizzlies' power play this season. Christian Felton last year had an NHL contract with the Vancouver Canucks. He split time with Abbotsford in the AHL as well as the Kalamazoo Wings. He signed with Utah on September 16th, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what he's able to do. 2 years ago, he led Merrimack College with 55 blocked shots. Noah Gansky is going to make a big presence, and big is certainly the key word with Gansky. He is 6'7" and 209 pounds. He was actually a plus 29 combined in his last 2 seasons with the Fort Wayne Comets. He was the line mate in Fort Wayne last year with former Grizzly Kyle Mayhew. I remember Mayhew edged out Derek Dashke for the league's Defenseman of the Year award, and no doubt that Noah Gansky certainly played a role in that. Avery Winslow spent the last 2 years with the Orlando Solar Bears. In fact, he played in 31 games each of those last 2 seasons, 31 games last year and 31 games with Orlando. The year before that, he also has experience with Wheeling in this league. So that's the defensemen that are going to be in the lineup tonight. Hansi Bukata, Gansky, Lemaster, Felton, as well as Salem and Avery Winslow. A scratch tonight is Colby Enns, who is a rookie who played at Merrimack College last year. We might see him tomorrow night. So that's introducing some of the Grizzlies. We talked about the new coaching staff, obviously, over the course of the summer. John Buchanan is the new head coach of the Utah Grizzlies, as he replaces Ryan Kanaswich, who is coaching a team in Austria. This will be Buchanan's professional debut, and obviously he'll make his official regular season debut with the Grizzlies next week against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. And certainly Buchanan, he coached in the WHL as well as some other junior leagues, and he'll get his feet wet in pro hockey over the next few weeks. Ryan Anderson is the traveling assistant coach for the Grizzlies. 2 years ago, he was the head coach of the Amarillo Wranglers, a junior team that I followed closely, as that was the team that Guy Carenza was broadcasting games for. And last year, Anderson was an assistant coach with the Reading Royals. Jack Skilly is also an assistant coach, and he's also the director of skill development for the Grizzlies. Skilly won a national championship with the University of Wisconsin a couple decades ago, former 5th overall pick in the NHL draft by the Chicago Blackhawks, and he spent many years in the NHL, including a year with the Blackhawks back in 2010, where they won the Stanley Cup. And so that's the coaching staff of the Grizzlies. Eric Hudson's the director of hockey operations. We have a new athletic trainer. Brooke Timoney is somebody that comes over from the Chicago White Sox organization. In fact, she was the athletic trainer for the AA Birmingham Barons. And the new head equipment manager is DJ McFarland. He replaces Jackson Hibbard, who left to go be the head equipment manager of the Tahoe Night Monsters. Colin Lee, the old athletic trainer of the last 5 years, is now in Greensboro, the new team, obviously, over in the Eastern time zone. So that's the 2025-26 Utah Grizzlies. Obviously, there's going to be a quiz on that during the second intermission. We'll certainly talk about all the new faces as we go along during this broadcast. When we come back, we'll go over the starting lineups for both teams. We're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face off in a few minutes from now here as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads in the first of 2 preseason games this weekend, obviously tonight in Boise and tomorrow night. Both teams will be at Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls, and that should certainly be a fun one. I think, if I remember right, it's the 3rd year the Grizzlies will have a preseason game over in Idaho Falls. Let's go over the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Grizzlies, who are led by first-year head coach John Buchanan. The assistant coaches are Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilly. The director of hockey operations is Eric Hudson. Getting the start in net is going to be Dylan Wells, and he is an experienced goaltender. Wells is 6'2" and 190 pounds. And as we mentioned, he's got about 9 years of experience. Last year, He split time with the Allen Americans, where he went 7-9-3 for what was a pretty bad team. And he also spent some time with the Tucson Roadrunners of the American Hockey League, where he had a 3-3-3 record with an even .900 save percentage and a 2.89 goals against average. Wells has experience in this league with Allen, Idaho, Norfolk, and Wichita, and he also has AHL experience with Bakersfield, Chicago, Rockford, Texas, and Tucson. And in his AHL career, he's got a record of 29, 26, and 8 with a 3.16 goals against average. Wells is a former fifth-round draft pick, 123rd overall by the Edmonton Oilers back in 2016. Dryden McKay is the backup goaltender tonight. We'll probably see McKay tomorrow night over in Idaho Falls. So Wells will get the start in net. He'll be wearing number 32 on the back of his Grizzlies sweater. The starting defensive pairing for Utah includes Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. Gansky is 6'7" and 209 pounds, a former Fort Wayne Comet. Salem last year split time with Indy and Kalamazoo. The other defensemen we're expected to see tonight includes Aiden Hansen-Bucata, who led Ohio State in assists last year, and he's going to be paired up with Luke Lemaster. And Avery Winslow, the former Orlando Solar Bear and Wheeling Naylor, he'll be paired up with second-year pro Christian Felton. So that's the sixth defenseman. The one defensive scratch for the Grizzlies tonight will be Colby Enns. Also, Doug Scott will be a scratch. He is on a tryout contract, 5'11" and 201 pounds. Starting forwards for the Grizzlies include Tyler Gratton, and he's going to be lined up from left to right. Gratton with Mick Messner and Reed Webster. So Messner and Webster on the same line tonight with Tyler Gratton, and they'll get the start. The second forward line is going to be Neil Shea, and he's going to be lined up with Luke Manning and Ty Voigt. Third forward line has Jack Ricketts, who's making his professional debut. He played at Quinnipiac College last season. He has an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. He'll be lined up with Riley Connors and Griffin Ness, and we will see Dylan Fitz lined up with Evan Friesen and Adam Berg. So obviously a lot of the familiar names for the Grizzlies are forwards, and it's an almost entirely new defensive unit. Starting lineup for the Idaho Steelheads, led by six-year head coach Everett Sheen. The president is Eric Trapp, and Keenan Kelly is the associate coach. Idaho last season missed the postseason with a record of 37, 25, 9, and 1. The starting goaltender is going to be Nolan Mayer, who's 6 feet, 172 pounds. Mayer spent some time last year in the AHL with Providence, and he also played with Maine in this league. Starting forwards from left to right are Nick Canati with Brendan Hoffman and Mason Nevers. Mason Nevers, no relation to Ernie Nevers. And the starting defensive pairing is Samuel Jardine and Charlie Dodaro. Charlie Dodaro's brother, Chris Dodaro, is a forward on the Steelheads. We'll come back and have face-off on the other side. This is the Grizzlies Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
It's a great night for hockey as Utah Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads in the first of two preseason games. I'm Tyson Whiting, certainly thrilled to be in Boise this weekend as the Grizzlies begin their final hunt for a Kelly Cup, and they take on an Idaho Steelheads team that's looking to return to the postseason after last year they came up a game or two short, and they missed the playoffs for the second time in team history. Grizzlies are wearing a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. Starting forwards for the Grizzlies will be Tyler Gratton with Mick Messner and Reed Lebster, and a defensive pairing of Noah Gansky, who goes 6'7" and 207 pounds, looks like a basketball player, and he's out there with Luke Salem. In net for the Grizzlies is Dylan Wells. This will be his fifth different ECHL team. He's also played with 5 different teams in the American Hockey League. He's got an AHL contract for the Tucson Roadrunners. Nick Canotti's the new Idaho Steelheads captain. He's going to be on the left wing. Brendan Hoffman will take the face-off along with Mason Nevers. Mick Messner will take the draw for the Grizzlies against Hoffman of the Steelheads. Puck is dropped and we're underway as Charlie Dodaro lobs it in. Grizzlies skate from left to right as we see it from high top section 202. In your mind's eye, see it on YouTube. Grizzlies dumping all the way down. Mayer will throw it towards center ice. Nolan's his first name, the Idaho goaltender. Gansky throws it between Messner's legs. Hoffman takes the puck. He had 25 goals and 25 assists for the Steelheads last year. Back to Dodaro, over to Sam Jardine. Rink-wide feed to center ice, goes tape to tape. As Nevers skates towards the right side, takes a righty shot and it's blocked by Luke Salem, who's wearing number 6 this year. Over to Gansky, number 21. He'll feed a right wing pass out to Lebster, wearing number 23 for the Grizzlies. Gets around Gratton and 2 Steelheads, splits a double team, skates towards the near wing wall, and throws it behind Idaho's net, where the puck is accepted by Matt Anderson, number 19 for the Steelheads. Trevor Zins, in his third year with the Steelheads, gets blasted along the boards. Left wing Avery Winslow, number 8 in his first shift as a Grizzly. Throws it behind the net to Shea. Over to Voigt, left wing. Back up top to Winslow, who dangles, fires lefty shot, and it's blocked. Idaho gets it to Trevor Zins, who pushes it ahead to center ice as the Steelheads try to lob it ahead, and it's taken away by number 42, Christian Felton. Felton had an NHL contract with Vancouver last year. He gets the puck at neutral ice, will skate back into his own zone as he surveys the landscape, and he'll feed a left wing pass out to Adam Berg, who's back for his third season with Utah. He'll slide it ahead. Taking the puck is number 44, Jake Boltman for Idaho, as the Steelheads have a lot of new players. Only 9 players returned from last season's club. Dylan Fitz skates towards the far corner as the Grizzlies skate from left to right. Idaho takes it away from him. It's a puck bounced off of Nick Port's number 20 stick. And now Ports gets it back from Ty Pelton-Bice, who might be the best returning Steelhead, as Ports dumps it in. Pelton-Bice and the rest of the Steelheads come out. They are wearing a black jersey with silver on the shoulders, white numbers, white lettering in the back, as it kind of looked like the Las Vegas Raiders a little bit with those colors, maybe a little bit of the LA Kings type of look. Griffin Ness gets the puck, left circle, dangles back and forth, stops on a dime as he's out there with Jack Ricketts, and they're going to be lined up tonight with Riley Connors, who's a strong two-way center. Puck goes out to center ice, and that is Chris Dodaro, the brother of Charlie Dodaro, as the brothers are on the Steelheads together. Mitch Wall lets it go deep into the Grizzlies zone, and Wall's an interesting story. If you're a longtime Grizzlies fan, yes, he was a former Grizzly over a decade ago. Dumping it in is Luke Salem, 5'10", 181 pounds, second full year as a pro. Lebster gets it knifed away by Jade Miller, who's back for his 4th season with the Steelheads. Puck is lobbed out to center ice, overskated by Tyler Gratton, who's a pretty big guy. He gets taken off the puck by Jade Miller as the Steelheads get it back in. Robbie Holmes, number 32, chases after it. He gets pushed along the boards behind Utah's net, as well as looks over his left shoulder. Felton and Winslow get creative and physical as Holmes tries to skate towards the far corner. Winslow on him like a hawk. Christian Felton holding his ground as there's a scrum over in the far corner. Jade Miller throws it up top. Dodaro, the defenseman, fires towards the net, and it's blocked about 10 feet in front of Dylan Wells. Charlie Dodaro is the defenseman. Chris Dodaro is a forward for the Steelheads. Up ahead, Messner trying to get to Lebster. He got redirected. Arm is raised by the linesman for a delayed offside. Grizzlies will fit in a line change as Neil Shea enters the ice. He's out there with Ty Voigt and Luke Manning, a forward line that's got outstanding speed. Canadi, the new Steelheads captain, skates around the net. He loses the puck. Luke Manning left wings a pass out to Shea. Shea at neutral ice, steps over the line, gets taken off the puck. Manning, he gets pushed along the boards by Matt Anderson, who's 6 feet, 195 pounds. Anderson skates around his net towards the near side. Steelheads will tap it off the boards. Puck hit the opposite center ice. Lemaster gets towards Manning. Manning in his second full season with the Grizzlies. He'll throw it back into his own zone. Lemaster gets a feed from Aiden Hansen-Bukata, the former Ohio State product. Grizzlies enter the zone, but Manning got there before the puck as Utah's offside. And we get a whistle with 16:08 left in the first. Well, I know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. We truly appreciate you choosing the Grizzlies tonight in their battle against the Idaho Steelheads. Remember, we are 7 days away from the Grizzlies' regular season opener as they take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. So Shea Manning and Voigt will stay on the ice. Noah Gansky talking things over with Luke Salem. Ty Pelton-Bice will take the draw for Idaho against Manning. Pelton-Bice last year had 24 goals and 37 assists and was a +1 for Idaho. It's his 4th season with the Steelheads. He's killed the Grizzlies over the years. As the Steelheads dump it in, that's Jeff Baum, a defenseman, wearing number 6. A lot of new faces for the Steelheads. Only 9 returning players, 6 returning forwards, and 3 returning defensemen. Grizzlies have a lot of returning players, 11 to be exact. 9 of them are forwards. Grizzlies get the puck. They stop behind Wells' net. Dylan's his first name. That's certainly a popular name among Grizzlies fans. Dylan Fitz back for his 5th season as a Grizzly. As Gansky shoulder fakes, he's 6'7" and 205. Long-range pass all the way towards left side. Cross ice. It bounced off of the stick of Evan Friesen in his first season as a pro. Friesen led the WHL's Wenatchee Wild in goals last year. Up top, left point. Lefty shot by Avery Winslow goes wide. Pelton-Bice will take Christian Felton off the puck. Felton wearing number 42. Last year that was worn by Nick Pastorius and a couple others. As Berg gets up top to Felton, right side, he skates towards a high slot, stops, gets around Malmquist. Now he stops in the left point. Felton fires towards the net, and it's blocked away in the slot by Mitch Wall, the former Grizzly. He was with Utah for 2 years, and they were stellar years right after Ryan Kanasewicz's playing career ended, 2012 and 2013. Malmquist collides with Felton. No call. Now down the middle. Jardine lefty shot. Saved by Wells. Rebound shot to score. Chris Dodaro got the loose change out in front. And the Steelheads take a 1-0 lead. And the fans chant, "Go Steelheads," as one fish gets thrown on the ice in front of Dylan Wells, as is tradition here at Idaho Central Arena. Jardine was all alone in the slot. He took a lefty shot. There was a little bit of traffic out in front of the crease. Not sure if Wells got a piece of it, but there was some loose change out in front. And Chris Dodaro, who last year played with Tahoe and Cincinnati in this league, he gets a preseason goal. And with 14:47 left in the first, Idaho leads 1-0. Steelheads have taken each of the first 2 shots tonight. Connors will take the draw at center ice against Mitch Wall. And we had mentioned him. We'll get to him a little bit more when we have a minute. Wall, obviously, an incredible story. He spent the last 7 years in Germany. He was a Grizzly from 2011 through 2013. Grizzlies tried to center it out to Griffin Ness in front of the net. It got sticked away by a Steelhead. Ness, the former Toledo Walleye, gets held up by Jardine. Now starting pass out in front. Shot saved by Nolan Mayer, as it looked like the Grizzlies had found Jack Ricketts out in front of the net, and Mayer made the save. It should be the Grizzlies' first shot on goal tonight. 14:28 left in the first. Jardine's going to get an assist on the goal that was scored by Chris Dodaro. Not sure about the secondary assists. Grizzlies have Riley Connors taking the draw, the former Yale University captain. He transferred last season and obviously joined the Grizzlies late in the year. I think he played at St. Thomas University last season. Actually, it was St. Lawrence University. I get my Saints mixed up from time to time. As the Steelheads won the 50-50 puck behind their own net, as the puck hit towards the Steelheads bench at center ice. Loose puck. Griffin Ness gets there about the same time as Jardine. Connors gets blasted by Charlie Dodaro. Now Connors pushes Dodaro in front of the Steelheads bench. Now C.J. Walker wants to fight Connors, as Walker and Connors at center ice. Goaltender comes off a delayed penalty, and it's going to be on the Grizzlies. Walker and Connors, they decide to cease and desist, as Connors will come off the ice. Delayed penalty. Mick Messner replaces Connors. And the Grizzlies hoping to touch it up with less than 14 minutes left in the first period. Rink-wide feed goes past Nick Canati all the way down for an icing. And the penalty is going to be on the Grizzlies. And Idaho will be on the power play first with 13:41 left in the frame. The penalty is on Riley Connors. 2 minutes for cross-checking. And Idaho will be on the power play. And with it being an icing call, I'm not sure we're going to get a TV timeout. Although they are going to start the power play in the Grizzlies zone, despite the fact that it looked like the Steelheads were called for icing. Ty Pelton-Bice has been a key to Idaho's power play for the last 3 years. He'll take the drawings out there with Nick Canati, Mason Nevers, Anderson, and Malmquist are up top for the Grizzlies. Taking the draw is Mick Messner. He's out there with Felton, Webster, and Avery Winslow. Draw goes between the two Steelheads up top as it goes deep into the Steelhead zone. Idaho skates from right to left. They lead 1-0, 6.5 minutes in. Anderson steps over the line right side. as he directs a pass towards his right for Mason Nevers, who gets held up. Nevers last season played at the University of Minnesota, as well as ending the season with the Steelheads. Canati feeds up top to Anderson. He'll slide it to his right. Malmquist gets it now back up top to Anderson. It's knifed away by Messner. Foot race. Messner's going to get there first. Left wing. Messner skates in. Backhand shot. He scores! Mick Messner gets a shorty, and we're tied at 1. Boy, what a play by Mick Messner. Puck ended up in the high slot. He knifed it away, and the puck slided into the Steelhead zone. He won a foot race, got the puck just at the top of the Steelheads left circle. And what a backhand shot as it goes past Mayer. It's a 5-on-4 shorthanded goal for Messner. Remember last year in the preseason in Idaho, Mick Messner scored a shorthanded goal where the Grizzlies were down 2 men. Messner is an outstanding penalty-killing forward, and he put it on display as he gets a pat on the back from Ryan Anderson and new Grizzlies head coach John Buchanan. So we're tied at 1, 1:27 left in the Idaho power play as Charlie Dodaro scores for the Steelheads, and a couple minutes later, Mick Messner with the shorthanded goal. It should be unassisted. Steelheads have the puck as Danny Geniev. It certainly doesn't look like that when you see his name, but Geniev, the former Penn State product, a rookie. Puck goes up top. Mitch Wall lets it go to Neil Shea. Shea gets it taken away by Charlie Dodaro, who's a defenseman, his brother Chris Dodaro, who scored the goal as a forward. Charlie Dodaro skates down Broadway, gets a new tries. He'll push it back to Geniev. Danny's his first name, 5'5", 150 pounds. He does look a little bit taller than that. As Mitch Wall around the net towards the near side. Wall, the longtime vet, 35 years old. He played in Germany the last 7 years. Over to Dodaro. Across the hop, and one-timer to score. Danny Geniev gets a power play goal, and it's now 2-1 Idaho lead. Great passing by the Steelheads. The puck ended up in the near goal line. Cross ice speed to Geniev. And he high-fives everybody on the Steelheads bench. He completed a college career at Penn State University. You could say that he missed the Gavin McKenna era by a year, but I think Gavin McKenna missed the Danny Geniev era by a year, as he's going to be a good one for the Steelheads. They've been talking about him all week. So it's 2-1 Idaho. Grizzlies with a shorthanded goal, and the Steelheads on that same power play responded, and they get the game-leading goal. It's 2-1 as they have gotten goals from Chris Dodaro and Danny Geniev. Puck goes deep into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies skate from left to right. Dylan Fitz delivers a good shoulder check on a Steelhead as he's out there with Berg, as Fitz holds his ground, as Fitz gets a stick in the back from Jake Boltman, number 44. Boltman continues to hit Fitz in the back as there's a scrum behind Idaho's net. Their goaltender looks over their right shoulder. Puck goes up top left point. Avery Winslow fires towards the net, and it's blocked away. A lot of traffic with 2 Grizzlies and two Steelheads nearby. Jade Miller at center ice gets it towards Holmes. He gets knifed away by Gansky. Holmes and Gansky collide along the end boards of the Grizzlies zone. Holmes shields Utah from the puck. Now he slides it towards the left point. Trevor Zins fires a righty shot, and that's blocked away. About 5 bodies in front of Dylan Wells. As we played 8.5 minutes in this first period, Idaho leads 2-1. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 4-1. Nick Anderson from the left point fires it onto the skates of Luke Salem. Puck goes towards the left circle. It's knifed away by Friesen. Now back towards Nick Ports, 5'11", 180 pounds. He gets double team. Fitz will throw it out to new tries. Running after it is Liam Malmquist. Malmquist has good speed. He'll feed it back towards his right. Steelheads enter from the right wing. Ty Pelton-Bice. He gets pushed to the puck by Winslow, and Bice gets divorced from it. 2-on-2. Utah crosses center ice. Berg over to Ness, left side. He tries to shield it away, but Anderson knifes it away on a good defensive play. Pelton-Bice gets it back. He'll toss it off the far wing wall as Bice gets collided with one of the 2 referees. We're not sure who the officials' names are, but I'm sure they'll do a hell of a job tonight. As Winslow's in front of Dylan Wells, he'll slide towards the far circle. Now feed it across to Felton. Felton back towards Winslow, who's a good skater. He gets to new tries. He'll feed it back towards Felton at the Utah line. Now Felton crosses center ice, gets around one skater, throws it towards the Idaho line. Connors fumbles it. Utah tags up. Now Connors drives it around the wall. Puck goes out towards center ice. Aiden Hansen-Bukata will fire it off the far wing wall. Utah enters but gets taken off the puck. Idaho with the puck skates around their goaltender as Malmquist bounced it across as the Steelheads get it back. Charlie Dodaro moves it towards the left side. Nevers at center ice dumps it in. Grizzlies, Hansen-Bukata with a long-range feed out to Webster. Webster over the line gets to Messner. Messner throws it behind Grattan wearing number 59. He's got good size, listed at 6'2". He looks bigger than that. He'll roll it around Idaho's net. Messner feeds up top to Lemaster. Across to Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Rink-wide feed is picked off by Nick Canati. Canati splits a double team, gets around Messner, skates towards the right side, takes a lefty shot. Kick save by Wells. Rebound goes towards Hansen-Bukata. He'll feed it out to center ice. Now Messner gets it. Steps over the line, left wing, skates towards the circle. Take a lefty shot, and that one's blocked by Jake Boltman. Puck goes towards Canati as Canati collides with Mick Messner. Messner, the Grizzlies, captain up top by Gansky. Across towards Salem. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Mayer as he makes a nice blocker save. As Salem goes down trying to get the rebound in the far corner. Steelheads get it back. 9:12 on a moving clock first period as the Steelheads will flub it in. Boltman in particular as Hoffman delivers a big shot on Gansky. Play's been very physical here in the first segment of play. 9:02 counting left in the first period. Idaho leads 2-1 on goals from Chris Tadero and Danny Geniev. Bouncing puck towards the left wing. Anderson fires lefty shot, and that's blocked in front of the net by Winslow as the Steelheads get it back up top, right side. As Idaho, Geniev rolls it across off the wall. Anderson gets it as he'll pin it back towards Chris Tadero, who gets it taken away by Noah Gansky. Gansky had to Manning, who feeds it towards the Grizzlies bench. Anderson battles with Ty Voigt. Anderson drives it back in. Wells collects it behind his net and drops it for Avery Winslow. Over to Ty Voigt, who's trying to shovel it ahead towards Shea, and it's picked off by C.J. Walker. Walker drops it for Mitch Wall. As Wall collides on a double team, Utah comes away with it. Shea ahead to Voigt off his stick as he couldn't reach it far enough. As Jardine runs it down for Idaho. Both teams will switch things up as the Steelheads lead 2-1, 8:10 on a moving clock first period. As Holmes drops it for Miller, back towards Miller. As he gets blasted by Neil Shea near the Grizzlies bench. Jardine shovels it ahead towards Miller, but he had skated the other way. As Bukana gets over to Shea, but Shea couldn't get around the referee, and he lost the puck as a result. Steelheads come back up with it. Good deflection by the referee. Holmes enters the zone, tries to split a double team. Berg collides with him. Fitz lets him go. As Berg towards the wall, lets it go towards the far corner. As Lemaster delivers a hit on a Steelhead, and that's Nick Port's number 20. Puck slides towards Baum. Baum will roll it back around. Lemaster collects it behind Utah's net. Long range feed out to Neutrice, out to Fitz. Fitz tried to move it to his left for Berg. It glanced off a Steelhead stick. Puck goes back towards Lemaster, who will skate towards his own blue line. Over to Salem, back to the far side. Salem got it to Friesen. Friesen trying to get it towards the far wing wall. Now the Grizzlies get it with Fitz, who enters from the right wing. Fitz just outside the right circle, takes a righty shot. And Baum got a stick in the way as it rolled towards Mayer, who makes a routine save. 7:14 left in the first period. Mick Messner scored a shorthanded goal, but the Steelheads got a power play goal from Danny Geniev, and they lead 2-1. It's the Steelheads 2, Grizzlies 1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Idaho leads 2-1 in the preseason opener. Great to have Mary Loxley here. She's sitting in section 112 here at Idaho Central Arena. Mike Thompson, 71 Cowboys. Nick Hayes tuned in tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. It's Idaho 2, Utah 1. First goal of the game was scored by Chris Tadero on a rebound from a Sam Jardine shot. Grizzlies scored a shorthanded goal with Mick Messner as he really made a great play, knifing the puck away in the high slot, winning a foot race, and then firing a beautiful backhand shot past Nolan Mayer. On that same Steelheads power play, though, Danny Geniev scored on a one-timer, the rookie out of Penn State, and Idaho leads 2-1. Time on the clock is 7:14. Grizzlies won the draw. It's an offensive zone one. Gansky over to Salem. One-timer is blocked away. Now left wing, righty shot. That one's saved by Mayer. That last shot was taken by, I believe, Jack Ricketts, number 28. Now Connors gets it. Righty shot, saved by Mayer. Boy, Nolan Mayer's looked pretty strong for the Steelheads in limited. He hadn't seen a whole lot of shots. Mayer had some AHL time with Providence last year and Maine in this league. Well, there's another timeout. 7:01's the time remaining. First period. Idaho leads 2-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land.
Seven minutes, 1 second. That's the time remaining. First period. Idaho leads 2-1. McMessner with the shorthanded goal for the Grizzlies. Utah has the face-off over in the left circle. It's an offensive zone draw. Grizzlies win the draw. Griffin Ness has a knife to ways. They were trying to get it towards Jack Ricketts, number 28, the Quinnipiac star last season. Out to center ice as Grizzlies hold their ground at center ice. Blomquist got held up by Salem. Now the puck back into the Steelhead zone. It goes to neutral ice. Salem collects it, and now bouncing off the tie. Pelton bites the skate. The puck rolls all the way towards Nolan Mayer, who's 6 feet, 172 pounds. Long-range feed goes tape to tape as it goes to Mason Nevers. He'll dump it in. Nevers last season played at the University of Minnesota. He's an Edina, Minnesota native. Steelheads have 7 Minnesota natives on the roster. As Nevers gets triple-teamed in the far corner, the Steelheads come out with the puck. Canati slides up top. Jardine left point. Across towards Dodaro. Back towards Jardine. He fires towards the net, and it goes wide. As Jardine is paired up with Charlie Dodaro tonight. As Felton with the puck dances around as he's being shadowed by Nevers. Felton breaks free of Nevers. Now he'll race out to center ice. Felton will dump it into the far corner. And the Grizzlies will reshuffle the deck and get a fresh 5-man unit on the ice. As Gratton, along with Lepster and Messner on the ice. Lepster wearing number 23 for the Grizzlies this year. As Hoffman walks in, gets around the master. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Wells. And he holds on, but a great play by Brendan Hoffman to split a double team, and he found himself a great opportunity from the right wing, but Wells was able to make the save. 5:48 left in the first period. Max Brown has tuned into the Grizzlies game here tonight. Nadine Hellewell, Ron Wells is also here, and they're certainly regulars to Grizzlies broadcast, and we certainly thank everybody throughout all the years who've turned into Utah Grizzlies broadcast. And we got a ton of fun stuff at Maverick Center throughout the entire regular season. The home opener is on October 25th as the Grizzlies take on these same Idaho Steelheads. Don't forget that Halloween, the Grizzlies have a home game on October 31st. Pucks and Pups will be on Friday, November 14th. Hispanic Heritage Night is going to be on Saturday, November 29th. The Teddy Bear Toss, and every year the Teddy Bear Toss has gotten bigger and bigger. The last Grizzlies Teddy Bear Toss will be on Saturday, December 13th. Community Night with a pregame farmers market is going to be on Saturday, December 27th. View Sports Night will be on January 17th. The final Guns and Hoses extravaganza will be on Saturday, January 31st. Grizzlies have a home game on Valentine's Day on the 14th. Grizz Fight Cancer Weekend will be on February 27th and 28th. Military Night on March 14th. Wild West Night, which will be a new one. That's going to be on March 27th. Star Wars Night is going to be the next to last weekend of the regular season on April 4th. And Fan Appreciation Night, which will be the final regular season game in team history. That's going to be on April 11th. So a lot of fun stuff happening at Maverick Center this season. Draw one by the Steelheads. Wall gets it up top. As the Steelheads get it back towards Wall off his stick. Wall, the former Grizzly, will go over his Utah resume here shortly. As Grizzlies under the offensive zone, they center it to Messmer, who had the puck fumble off his stick. Messmer gets it back. He's got the captain's C on his white sweater. As the puck goes back towards Genev, the Penn State product, he'll throw it deeper into the Steelhead zone. Puck goes from one corner to the other. As Utah continues their battle, Tyler Gratton will throw it back to center ice. As the Grizzlies will reset shop. As Utah back in their own zone. As Messner feeds it back to Reed Lepster. It'll be a little bit odd seeing Lepster wearing number 23 as opposed to what he wore last season. I'm trying to remember what jersey number he had last year. It was somewhere in the teens. As Manning dumps it in, Mayer lets it go towards the near corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the first period as we see it from high top section 202. As Wall loses the battle, Grizzlies get it up top. Salem across to Gansky in the right point. Dangles back and forth, gets to Winslow, feeds to the right side for Shea, who takes a lefty shot and goes wide. Mayer might have gotten a stick in the way. Ty Voigt behind the net, feeds out in front. Manning with a lefty shot, saved by Mayer, who did a good job closing the far post. Grizzlies, Shea in the right side, trying to keep it in and fire a prayer that was bounced off of Jade Miller's shoulder. Holmes with the puck as he skates in. Holmes' first name is Robbie. Right wing, he'll take a shot. Blocker saved by Wells. Grizzlies get the rebound. Utah will bounce out to center ice. Manning chases after it. Trevor Zins gets there first. It's Zins' third season as a Steelhead. Nick Anderson's got good speed. He steps over the line, left wing. Centers it. Malmquist, lefty shot, kick saved by Wells. Grizzlies get the rebound. Bird comes back the other way. Right wing, he crosses center ice, and he'll flub it in. Bird trying to get around Pelton Bice. He's got great speed. Charlie Dodaro gets taken off the puck. Grizzlies center it out towards Berg, who hacks away. Mayer trying to get towards the right corner. As Winslow over to Berg as the puck slides towards the far wing wall. Nick Ports will move it out to center ice for Ty Pelton Bice. Bice will wobble it towards Dylan Wells, who will cover it up in the crease. Steelheads will have an offensive zone draw with 3:44. That's the time remaining here in this first period. So we talked about Mitch Wall, obviously. And if you're a longtime Grizzlies fan, you might remember him because he was one of the great players in Grizzlies history. In the 2021-22 season, Mitch Wall was wearing number 7 for Idaho tonight. In 38 games, he had 20 goals and 20 assists. He also had 95 penalty minutes. Wall, the following season with Utah in the 2012-2013 campaign, in 45 games, had 19 goals and 40 assists. And he is back in the Steelheads uniform after spending 7 years in Germany. Grizzlies trying to center it out in front, and looked like Ricketts' stick got lifted in front of him. Ness gets pushed. Ricketts over in the corner with a battle with Liam Malmquist. Puck bounces towards the left point, tried to be knifed ahead. As Grizzlies get the puck, they stay in the offensive zone. Connors, high slot, takes a righty shot, and that's blocked away by Jardine. Puck bounces back to the left point. Grizzlies fire a lefty shot. Glove saved by Mayer. Boy, Aiden Hansen-Bukata was over in the left point, fired a nice-looking shot, the helicopter towards Mayer, and Mayer snatched it about knee-high. He holds on. 3:14 left in the first period. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 9-7. We'll go over all the stats of this first period during the intermission. We'll also talk some Grizzlies hockey. There's no NHL games tonight to report on, but there are some ECHL preseason games we'll get updated on, and we'll also talk about some of the new players for the Grizzlies, how they looked in the first period, and what their roles for this season are going to be. Connors kicked out of the faceoff circle. Jack Ricketts will take the draw. Ricketts, a former captain at the college level. Grizzlies do have quite a few good team leaders. Idaho wins the draw. Nick Canati has a glance off his stick. Ness down the middle of the ice. Righty shot saved by Mayer. And he holds on as Ness tried to go 5-hole, but lifted it a little bit too much. It ended up about waist high, and Mayer made the stop. Grizzlies have a lot of depth in terms of forwards. This is the third forward line on John Buchanan's lineup sheet. Connors centering it with Ness to his left and Jack Ricketts to his right. Grizzlies up to 8 shots. Steelheads did have an early lead in the shot count. Grizzlies closing the gap. Utah gets their stick held up, and that is Ricketts, who's trying to break free. Puck goes to the middle of the ice. Idaho collects as the Grizzlies were trying to get it towards Riley Connors. Now Connors gets it 2-on-2 over the line. Skates towards his right. Connors now in the right circle. Fires the righty shot and it goes wide as he was looking for a redirection as Ness was out in front. Now Connors gets it back. Slap shot goes wide as he missed the net. Stick side on Mayer. As the puck glides deep into the Grizzlies zone, run down by Luke Salem, who's got an epic mustache. He'll drop it for Avery Winslow, who looks like he hasn't shaved a day in his life. Head to center ice for Gratton, who got a piece of it. As running it down is Nick Anderson, who's shown quite a bit of speed for the Steelheads here in the first period. Lepser took it away from him. He feeds back up top. Right point to Felton, who pedals back and forth. Now Felton dancing around. He's an outstanding skater. Felton splits a double team, gets it towards the left side. Gratton gets cut off by Trevor Zins as Anderson takes the puck. He'll fire it off the near wing wall. Puck lances off of Felton's stick. He's able to keep it in. He'll slide it towards Lepser. Gets to Messner right side. Back up top to Felton. Felton fires towards the net, and it's a low liner. It's cut off by Zins in front of the crease. Now firing towards the net. As he missed the net, glove side was Lepster. Idaho's Mitch Wall will throw it back deeper into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies will make a line change, and Idaho will switch up forwards. Rink-wide feed off of Geneviev's stick. Genev, the Penn State product, who has Idaho's second goal of the night. Manning moves it out towards center ice. Manning was a standout in the last 11 games of the regular season. As a puck deep into the Grizzlies zone, Bukata rolls it around Neil Shea. gets cut off, but Shea's able to do a good job shielding Dodaro from the puck, and that's Charlie Dodaro, the defenseman of the brother combination. Grizzlies have it as Shea enters from the right side. He's got great speed, drops it for Voigt. Voigt down the middle of the ice, leaves it for Hanson Bukata, lefty shot, saved by Mayer. He holds on with 1:12 left in the first. That's a very fast forward line that the Grizzlies have with Neil Shea, Ty Voigt, and Luke Manning. And if you're looking for a defenseman this season for the Grizzlies, Aiden Hanson Bukata is certainly a candidate to be an outstanding defenseman this season. After all, Hanson Bukata last year was a standout in the Big Ten with Ohio State. He led the Buckeyes in assists with 29 in 38 games last year, and he was a plus 11. He did make his professional debut in the AHL with the Syracuse Crunch on April 19th of 2025. He played 4 seasons at the Rochester Institute of Technology, where he had 69 assists in 4 years. So he's certainly going to be a good one. This is his first season as a pro. Grizzlies have the puck as Salem tries to pitchfork it towards Mayer, who sticks it back towards the Idaho end wall. 1 minute on the moving clock here in the first period. Idaho leads 2-1. Left side, Shea, lefty shot, glove saved by Mayer, and he holds on with 54.7 seconds left in the first. Shea was certainly an epic playmaker for the Grizzlies at times last season. In only 36 games last year, he had 19 goals and 20 assists. In back-to-back weeks in the month of February, I think it was February 1st and 15th, he scored the overtime game winner. On fishing night, where the Grizzlies hooked the Steelheads 6-5 in overtime, it was Derek Daschke who scored the overtime game winner. Daschke has an AHL contract. The ECHL affiliate is the Kalamazoo Wings, the team that he played for 2 years ago. Puck lifts into the Grizzlies zone. It looks like it's going to be icing as the whistle blows with 42 seconds left in the first. At some point this weekend during the preseason, we'll give you some updates as to where the former Grizzlies are from last season who are playing elsewhere. And that might include Ryan Kanasowicz, the Grizzlies head coach over the last 4 years. I've got a new favorite team in Austria as he's the head coach of Innsbruck HC in Austria. Interestingly enough, one of his defensemen for that team is Patrick Kudla, the star defenseman who had been with the Steelheads each of the last 2 or 3 years. And he's certainly glad to have Kudla on his side this year. Puck is helicoptered into the Grizzlies zone. Winslow runs it down. Pelton Bice closes the gap. Pelton Bice with kind of a pillow check on Winslow. Less than half a minute left in the first period. Puck slides back towards where Winslow and Pelton Bice vacated. Righty shot by Trevor Zins. He lost his stick as Wells makes the save. Puck along the far wing wall, 2-on-2 scrum. Dylan Fitz tries to play soccer with it, kicking it towards the far corner. He holds his ground. Bice takes the puck. He feeds up top. Zins pedals towards his left and gets to Anderson. Just outside the left circle, he'll bounce one off of Friesen. Now Zins has his shot blocked by Berg. 2 seconds left in the period. Dylan Fitz gets the puck, and he will fly it into the Steelhead zone, and the horn sounds, and that will do it for 20 minutes here at Idaho Central Arena. Grizzlies outshot the Steelheads 11-9 in the first frame, but the Steelheads got first period goals from Chris Dodaro and Danny Genevieve. Got a power play goal. Mick Messner scored a shorthanded goal for the Grizzlies with a great individual effort. Grizzlies high-five Dylan Wells as John Buchanan talks with Wells. We'll probably see the other goaltender, Dryden McKay, later on this series. In fact, earlier today, it was believed that McKay was going to be the starter, but Wells gets the nod for the Grizzlies here tonight. Wells, a former Idaho Steelhead. When we come back, we'll recap the first 20 minutes of play, and we'll also talk some hockey. We'll talk about what the Grizzlies have in store for this season. We had mentioned the fun promotions that are going on at Maverick Center this year. And we'll also talk a little Steelheads hockey as well. There are no NHL games, oddly enough, tonight, but we will go over some of the games that are going to be played tomorrow. And we will also go over some league scores as there's some postseason action or preseason action across the league. After one period, it's Idaho 2, Utah 1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. We've played 20 minutes of the 6 periods that have been scheduled for the preseason. 3 tonight, 3 tomorrow, as the Grizzlies will be at Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls. And unfortunately, this is the final preseason in Utah Grizzlies history, but we're having some fun and making some memories along the way. Idaho got on the board first as Chris Dodaro scored 5-13 in. Puck ended up in the middle of the ice. Sandart Jardine fired towards the net. It looked like there were 2 bodies in front of Dylan Fitz. Puck ended up trickling off of something. Wells couldn't locate the puck. There was some loose change in the crease, and Dodaro found the puck and fired it past Dylan Wells for the game's first goal. Chris Dodaro last year split time with the Tahoe Night Monsters and Cincinnati Cyclones. He was a teammate in Cincinnati last year with the new Grizzlies forward, Ty Voigt. Grizzlies were shorthanded after Riley Connors got a cross-checking minor 6:19 into the first period. And half a minute into the Idaho power play, puck went up top. Mick Messner anticipated where the puck was going to be, raced over, nudged the puck away from the Steelhead that was trying to get the puck in the high slot. Puck slid towards the Idaho zone, towards the far circle. Messner won a foot race, got the puck, and he skated towards the middle, just kind of angling right. And he fired a beautiful backhand shot past Nolan Mayer. What an unbelievable individual effort by Mick Messner. It really was Utah. I wouldn't say was the best penalty killing forward the Grizzlies had last year, but he was certainly among them. If we're talking about guys that can score shorthanded, Messner has shown over the last 2 years that he can be a lethal scorer shorthanded. Remember, the Grizzlies in the 2021-22 season led the league in shorthanded goals. Messner, who scored a 3-on-5 shorthanded goal in Idaho Falls last year in the preseason, gets a shorthanded goal here, 6:52 in. It was unassisted as the game was tied at 1. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the rule in hockey that I think should be adopted into the ECHL. I'd actually mentioned it before. A lot of people mentioned the rule of if you score a shorthanded goal, you probably earn the right to get your player out of the penalty box. Unfortunately, that rule doesn't apply here, and the Steelheads stayed on the power play. And late in the power play, the Steelheads worked the puck around. It was a really common play that we've seen the Steelheads run over the years where they get the puck towards the near goal line, and then they fire it cross ice for a one-timer. Usually it's a guy like Ty Pelton-Bice that's on the receiving end of it. It looked like it was either Charlie Dodaro or Mitch Wall who threw the pass cross ice towards Danny Geneyev, and the last name is spelled D-Z-H-A-N-I-Y-E-V. Geneyev is what we believe it is. I probably am botching it. He's a Penn State star, first-year pro. He got the puck on the right side and fired a one-timer past Dylan Wells. It was 7:40 into the first period, and the assist went to C. Dodaro, which is Chris Dodaro. Chris Dodaro has 1 goal and 1 assist for the Steelheads in the first period, and Mitch Wall, the former Grizzly, picked up the other assists, and you got to be a longtime Grizzly fan to remember Mitch Wall, and we talked about him a little bit in the first period, but he's the guy that was with Utah from 2011 through 2013. He actually played with Innsbruck HC in Austria back in the 2017-2018 season. He had been in Germany the last 7 years. He did spend some time with the Steelheads over a decade ago, and he is back in an Idaho uniform. Certainly odd going to a Steelheads game and not seeing A.J. White, who is retired, and Matt Register, who's currently with the Allen Americans. Those two have been Steelhead stalwarts over the years. Idaho only has 9 returning players from last season's club, and the best of which is probably Ty Pelton-Bice, although Brendan Hoffman had 25 goals and 25 assists last year. Nick Canati, I'm not sure if he's wearing the C tonight, but it is believed that he is the favorite to be the new Steelheads captain for the 2025-26 season. So a pretty good first 20 minutes of play. Idaho leads 2-1. Steelheads had a pretty strong shot advantage in the first half of the first period. Grizzlies responded, and by the end of the period, Utah had outshot Idaho 11-9. And among that, Riley Connors had 2 shots, as did Aiden Hansen-Bukata and Neil Shea. Those 3 players led the way with 2 shots, 1 shot each in the first period from Luke Salem, Avery Winslow. Mick Messner obviously scored on his 1 look. Dylan Fitz and Griffin Ness each had 1 shot on goal for the Grizzlies in the first period. For the Steelheads, nobody had more than 1 shot in the first frame, and obviously Chris Dodaro and Danny Genev scored the goals for the Steelheads in the first period. Utah is yet to go on the power play. Idaho is 1 for 1, but remember the Grizzlies did score a shorthanded goal in Idaho's 1 power play opportunity. I tried to remember which number Reed Lebster wore last season. I knew it was in the teens, and Ron Wells made sure to let me know that he wore number 17 for the Grizzlies last year, and I probably remembered that. Lebster was outstanding for the Grizzlies. In fact, he led Utah in points after February 1st. So obviously, I would remember that. It has been a pretty tough summer, I have to admit. Great to have Max Brown tuned into tonight's game. As he says, let's make this last season for the Grizzlies a great one. Certainly good to see him, Max. Hopefully we'll see him at some Grizzlies games this season. And we mentioned it during the period, but there's so many fun things happening at Maverick Center this year. We're certainly looking forward to the home opener on Saturday, October 21st. You're going to want to get there early. We mentioned it in the pregame show, but we're certainly dedicating everything we do this season to the life and legacy of Kevin Bruder, who passed away this past May at the age of 56. And he was an unbelievable person. You talk about a very calming influence and a great leader. And his legacy really is that of leadership, generosity, service. A very, very selfless person. Somebody that would literally give you the back on the shirt off his back if you needed it. And he certainly is missed, and really over what we've gone through over the last 5 months, he's missed more than ever. And so we're going to be honoring Kevin Bruder not only at the home opener on October 25th, but all season long. The Grizzlies, I believe, will be wearing patches that have KB on the back of them. Grizzlies will be wearing white helmets. They'll also be wearing black helmets this season. And I believe the game pucks for Grizzlies home games will have Kevin Bruder's name on them. So he's certainly somebody that throughout the entire history of the Grizzlies. In fact, he moved to Utah in 1997. That was the summer that Maverick Center, which was known as E Center at the time, they opened their doors, and Kevin Bruder had been with the Grizzlies ever since. And so it's certainly tough to have a Grizzlies game of any kind and not have Kevin Bruder around, but we know that he's looking down on us, and he's got to be proud of what he's seeing. Pretty good first period for the Grizzlies, despite the 2-1 score. Admittedly, most years the Steelheads do have the better of the Grizzlies in preseason action. So the home opener, we're looking forward to it. The first 4 games for the Grizzlies season will be on the road. Next Friday is the Grizzlies opener against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Among those on the Greenville roster is Keaton Mastrodonado. He signed an AHL contract with the Ontario Reign, but earlier this week he was reassigned to Greenville. So hopefully we don't get a Keaton Mastrodonado revenge game against the Grizzlies, as we know he's an outstanding player. Derek Dashke was first team all-league. He signed an AHL deal with Abbotsford. Their ECHL affiliate is Kalamazoo. Hopefully Dashke is able to make that AHL club because he is an AHL level player, and he certainly would be deserving of having his name with the Abbotsford Canucks all season. Briley Wood led the Grizzlies with 20 goals last year. Wood has an AHL contract with Calgary. However, he was assigned to Rapid City earlier this week, and the Grizzlies obviously play Rapid City quite a bit. So we might see Briley Wood against the Grizzlies at times this year. Chad Hillebrand has an AHL contract with the Chicago Wolves. Connor Mayer signed an AHL contract with the Hershey Bears. Among the goaltenders of last season, Adam Scheel is now in the KHL as he plays with Barry's Astana. Jake Barczewski might play against the Grizzlies this upcoming season as he signed on with the Bloomington Bison. And Vinny Duplessis signed with the Trois-Rivières Lions. Grant Gabriel, we saw him at the end of the season. He actually was traded from the Grizzlies to the Fort Wayne Comets for Noah Gansky. And you got to see Gansky in person. 6'7", 205 pounds, and I got to imagine he's going to become a fan favorite, as obviously he's a very physical player. He's also a plus performer. He's more than just a guy that's big. He was on Fort Wayne's top forward line last year where he was paired up with former Grizzly Kyle Mayhew. Cooper Jones signed with the Maine Mariners. Brian Yoon signed with the Savannah Ghost Pirates. However, he's been loaned to the Colorado Eagles, so he's back in the organization. But if he does get sent back to the ECHL, Savannah does have his rights. Braden Nicolette signed with the Norfolk Admirals. And Kyle Powell, remember him from the first 2 months of last season. He signed on with the Kansas City Mavericks. It'd be interesting to see Kyle Powell back in the league with Kansas City. He's certainly a big guy, about 6'5", 6'6", and a very physical presence. So those are some of the Grizzlies that were with the club last year that are elsewhere for the upcoming season. One of the things we mentioned in the pregame show, and if you joined us late, obviously we went through all the gamut of emotions over a 25-minute stretch, and we went over just about everything we could in that time. But it's interesting when you talk about all the returning players for the Grizzlies outside of Luke Lemaster, and Luke Salem obviously was elsewhere last year, but he got his feet wet in pro hockey with the Grizzlies in the 2023-24 season. Of the 12 forwards that are in the lineup tonight, 9 are returning players. You got, obviously it takes some time to go through all of them. We saw some of them make an impact in the first period. Obviously, Neil Shea had a couple shots in the first frame. He averaged just about a goal every 2 games. Reed Lebster, we'd mentioned him. Mick Messner, Dylan Fitzback for his 5th season as a Grizzly. And an interesting fun fact, it might be Grizzlies trivia later on in the season. If you think about it with Dylan Fitz, this would be his 5th season with the Grizzlies. He was acquired in a trade with Orlando back in March of 2022 for Brian Bowen in 323 ECHL games. That's what he's played overall entering this season. He's got 80 goals and 75 assists, but he ranks in the top 10 in the Grizzlies ECHL era in a few categories. In fact, he's 7th in the Grizzlies ECHL era in games played with 192. He is just 2 games away from passing Taylor Richard, pound for pound the toughest guy in the league, for 6th most in the Grizzlies ECHL era. He is 7th in the Grizzlies ECHL era with 51 goals, and he is 9th with 103 points. And he scored some big goals over the year. An overtime game winner against the Newfoundland Growlers in January of 2024. In fact, some of his family wasn't in attendance for that weekend, so he certainly was able to make a couple memories there. He had a hat trick in February 2024 against the Kansas City Mavericks, and he may score 10 to 15 goals this year, but it feels like a lot of them are going to be big ones for Utah. He's been a clutch performer all season long. Back to that trivia question, we mentioned that when he plays in his first regular season game this year, he'll be the 4th player in Grizzlies history to have appeared in games in 5 different seasons. I'm sure you can think of some of the others because we talk about them frequently. Gord Dineen, obviously, his number 2 is retired at Maverick Center. Dineen, who was a big factor in the IHL era and in the championship year of 1996. Jeff Sharples, back in the IHL era, played 5 years with the Grizzlies. And Ryan Kanaswich, former Grizzly legend and former Grizzly head coach. In fact, he's always going to be a Grizzlies legend as he is the all-time leader in goals, assists, and points. We had mentioned where he is. He's with the Innsbruck HC club in Austria. We mentioned that towards the end of the first period. And if you're a Steelheads fan, one of his defensemen is Patrick Kudla, who was first-team All-League as a Steelhead. And if you're talking about maybe the most elite defensive pairing in the league over the last 2 or 3 years, you'd have to look at Matt Register and Patrick Kudla. Well, Kudla's actually playing for Kanaswich with Innsbruck HC, and they're off to a 2-5 start this year, and I'm certainly going to be rooting them on all season. Well, it looks like the Grizzlies are hitting the ice for the second period, and so are the Steelheads. When we come back in 1 minute, we will have second period action. Once again, the score after 20 minutes of play is Idaho 2, Utah 1. We'll be skating 5-on-5 in 1 minute. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable, all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
All right, back for the second period here at Idaho Central Arena. Idaho leads 2-1. Grizzlies outshot the Steelheads 11-9 in the first period. Grizzlies will start with the same five that started the game. Mick Messner will be lined up with Tyler Gratton and Reed Lebster. Messner will take the face-off. Noah Gansky will be paired up with Luke Salem. It looks like the same five that started the game for the Steelheads, and that is Nick Canati along with Brendan Hoffman and Mason Nevers. And the defensive pairing is Samuel Jardine and Charlie Dodaro. Nick Canati's the odds-on favorite as team captain. We're trying to see if he's got a C on his sweater. I'm not sure he is, but he's certainly a strong candidate. It's his fourth year with the Steelheads. Grizzlies win the draw. They skate from right to left as we see the game from Section 202. In your mind's eye, see it on YouTube. We're also on Flow Sports tonight. Webster overskates the puck as Jardine tries to play it. 2-on-2 battle. Gratton holds his ground. He's 6'2" and very strong. Puck slides towards Nolan Mayer, who will fling it around his net towards the far corner. Up with it's Nevers, no relation to the NFL legend of a century ago, Ernie Nevers. He left wings a pass towards Hoffman. Left side, he'll take a righty shot, and it's blocked away as Gansky lost his stick and his glove. He picks both up. Webster over the line, left wing, skates towards his right, drops for Messner. Messner fakes a one-timer, trying to get towards Salem, who swung and missed on a one-time attempt in the slot. Gratton gets pushed to the boards by Hoffman. Gratton strong with the puck. He'll bounce one off of Dodaro's stick, and that's Charlie Dodaro, the defenseman. Chris Dodaro, his brother, had 2 points in the first period, 1 goal and 1 assist. Jardine behind the net to Charlie Dodaro as both teams will spread the ice. Hoffman will come off as the Steelheads make their first line change of the period. Ty Pelton by centers, along with Liam Malmquist. Malmquist, a very speedy one. He played last year at the University of St. Thomas in Manitoba. The Manitoba Moose of the AHL, that is. As the Steelheads bounce one in behind Utah's net, Dylan Wells, number 32 on the back of his sweater, swings it to the near side for Shea. Shea rink-wide feed goes tape to tape as puck ends up back towards Christian Felton. Felton centers out in front. Shea with a shot, he missed the net as he had a tough angle on Malmquist on his hip. Ty Voigt right side, he'll fire a righty shot that goes wide. Behind the net, Trevor Zenz will fling it to the far side. Puck bounces. Luke Manning gets it. He'll direct it to Voigt. Ty Voigt, the Pittsburgh native, trying to get to Manning. Shea. Shea got knocked down. No penalty on the play. Manning goes into the Idaho net. The net gets dislodged. Well, Utah should have a power play there as Neil Shea says he got held up, and then Manning got held up as well. No call was made. Draw's going to be in the Steelhead zone as Utah's still looking for their first power play of the night. So Draw's going to be over in the left circle. It's going to be Neil Shea with Ty Voigt and Luke Manning. It's going to be Manning taking the face-off. Actually, they're saying the face-off's going to be in the right circle. We mentioned it in the first period, but that might be Utah's fastest forward line right there. The defensive pairing is Lemaster and Aiden Hansen-Bucata, AHB. He's looking for a GOAL here for Utah. As the Steelheads get the puck, Malmquist gets around Manning, and they'll skate towards center ice. He'll chip it in. Lemaster chasing after it. Bucata holds up with Nick Ports. Boy, Bucata's a very strong player. He's going to be an outstanding pro. Puck goes to center ice. Trevor Zins gets it. He tried to slide it towards Malmquist, who couldn't reach it. Puck near the Grizzlies bench, and Manning will drive it in. Grizzlies will reshuffle the deck. Friesen enters along with Dylan Fitz and Adam Berg. All three of them are returning Grizzlies. Luke Salem enters with Noah Gansky. Zins zips it out to center ice. It's off the stick of Genev. As Fitz over the line, stops in the right point. He'll roll the puck along the top of the boards. Trevor Zins gets hit in the back by Friesen. As Fitz delivers a push on Jeff Baum in the far corner. 2-on-2 scrum. Friesen holds his ground. So does Zins. Baum tries to break free. Fitz holding him up. Scrum stays along the corner. Now Mitch Wall comes out with it as the puck chipped towards him. Steelheads spread the ice. Up ahead, Gansky. Well, he holds up Genev. Steelheads want an interference call, but it's going to be icing on the Steelheads. 17-19 is the time remaining here in the second period. There's only been one shot here so far in the second period, and it was to the Grizzlies. So Utah will make a change. Idaho can't. Riley Connors will talk things over. He's out there with Jack Ricketts. I'm certainly intrigued to see Ricketts tonight. 6'1", 208 pounds. He's got an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. Griffin Ness was outstanding for the Grizzlies in the final month last year. He's wearing number 77. Center ice, Mitch Wall will take the draw against Connors, and Idaho wins the faceoff. Steelheads will push it to the right side at center ice. Chris Tadero has a glance off his skate as he couldn't handle it. Ricketts near the Steelheads bench as he holds on to the puck. Ricketts, 6'1", 208, played with Quinnipiac last year and had 20 goals in 38 games. He'll bounce one off the stick of a Grizzly, and that's Avery Winslow, number 8. Number 8, I believe, is an old number that Luke Manning wore for a time. That might have been his first year as a pro. The Grizzlies chip it in. As Mayer plays behind his net, so he'll throw it back towards the near side for Boltman, who reverse it to Genev. Genev, speedy one, not very big, 5'5", 150 pounds, tries to split a double team. Winslow cuts him off. Now Jade Miller in his 4th season with the Steelheads, as he'll drop it off, make that C.J. Walker a returning Steelhead. Puck goes back up top left side, righty shot, saved by Wells. Rebound goes back towards the left point. Grizzlies get it. As Hudson misses on a hit, make that Holmes. Robbie's his first name for Idaho. As Holmes has the puck, walks down Broadway, but the Steelheads are offside. 16:22 left in the second. I'll make sure to tune in to Flow Sports all season long, as you can watch the Grizzlies, you can watch the entire ECHL, and you can also watch the American Hockey League as well. Make sure to get your Flow Hockey subscription, and Flow Sports, certainly the provider for the exclusive video streaming provider of the ECHL. We'll have our audio-related broadcasts on YouTube once again this season. Pucks at neutral ice. Jade Miller wins the draw against Mick Messner. And Charlie Dodero bouncing off of Grizzlies. It bounces off of Wells' pads. Grizzlies will yank one deep into the Steelhead zone. Grattan runs it down. Charlie Dodero gets there a stride ahead of him. As Dodero gets hit by Grattan, Grattan moves it to Messner. Messner tried to center it to Lemaster on his backhand. He corrals it and zips it around the boards. Messner delivers a push towards the other number 10, Sam Jardine, who's 6'1", 205, and a very strong performer. Idaho comes out with the puck as they spread the ice behind their net. Charlie Dodero dangles it back and forth. He'll get it ahead to Holmes, who crosses center ice. Holmes will backhand it in as the Steelheads make a full line change. 15:40 on the moving clock, second period. Idaho leads 2-1. Left wing pass to Messner, tape to tape. Messner skates horizontally. Now he drops it for Shea over the line. Shea bounced it off a Steelhead skate. Trevor Zins in the area. Grizzlies' Reed Lepster gets it taken away. Brendan Hoffman back to Zins. Zins, a former Indy Fuel player. They'll get it to the left side. Now the Steelheads drive it to the right corner. Canati runs it down. Canati in his 4th year with the Steelheads, a very tough guy despite being 5'9". He'll chip it. It's picked off by the Grizzlies. Salem gets belted by Hoffman. Hoffman will backhand it to neutral ice. And zipping around the boards is Anderson. Matt's his first name, not the former Detroit Tiger right-hander who threw 100 miles an hour. This guy, though, moves at 100 miles an hour. He's got great speed. Salem over the line. Left wings to Voigt. Voigt, a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native. He gets blasted by Zins. Puck along the glass. Nevers tries to shield Manning from the puck. Hoffman gets it as he gets knocked down by Voigt. Voigt's not a very big guy as the puck goes into the Steelheads bench. With 14:45 left in the second period as the whistle blows. Draw's going to be at neutral ice. Boy, Ty Voigt's certainly a fun one. He spent last year with the Cincinnati Cyclones. He had a solid year for Cincinnati, where he had 8 goals and 29 assists in 63 games. I wonder if he reminds me a little bit. I talked about many years ago the speed of Griffin Molino in the 2019-2020 season. I'm curious to see if Voigt's like that. Size-wise, he kind of reminds me of Trey Bradley, the Grizzlies captain in their division championship season, the 2021-22 campaign. A neutralized Bice drives it in as he rolls it along the near wing wall. Wells cuts it off behind his net. Grizzlies skate from right to left. Passes over led for Evan Friesen as the puck bounces towards Jake Boltman, who probably has an outstanding nickname. They probably call him Bolt. Grizzlies get it. Friesen over the line. He shields a Steelhead from the puck, and that's Baum. When Friesen gets pushed in the back, and Idaho comes up with it. Bice chips to the middle of the ice for Miller as the Steelheads get it picked off at the Utah line by Winslow. It gets to Fitz, who drives it in. Friesen gets there, but Baum gets there first. Now Fitz gets the puck, far goal line. Shot saved by Mayer as he made a shoulder-high save. Puck still alive behind Idaho's net. Now it trickles towards the far wing wall. Foot race as the master towards the right point. As he will drop it off to Christian Felton, who wears number 42. I believe Riley Connors wore that number towards the end of last season. Connors wearing number 12 as Friesen gets held up behind Idaho's net as Mayer looks over his left shoulder. Griffin Ness trying to yank it away. Ricketts gets it as he dances around far goal line. Ricketts has a tough angle as he gets it chipped away by Baum. As Ports will lift it out to center ice. Puck happening opposite in the Grizzlies zone as it's run down by Luke Lemaster, who's got good speed. He'll stop behind his own net. As Lemaster will feed it towards the far side as Connors gets spun around. As the puck chips towards Ricketts. Ricketts tried to dump it in, but it glanced off a Jardine's stick. As the Steelheads get to neutralize, racing out to center ice is Charlie Dodaro. He'll push to his left. Griffin Ness anticipated it, and he took it away as he skates towards the far corner. From one corner to the other gets to Hanson Bucata. Back to center ice, flying towards center is Ricketts. Jardine knifes it away from him as Charlie Dodaro, make that Chris Dodaro, number 55. I can't get my Dodaro straight. He gets taken off the puck by Hanson Bucata. Ahead towards Ness, who gets the Utah line, and he'll chip it in. No icing as it got deflected by a Steelhead stick. Zins will get it back towards Anderson, who's got great speed. He crosses center ice. Anderson splits a double team, but he gets it knifed away towards the center ice logo. Idaho gets it back. Wall over the line, gets it towards Geneyev. Geneyev tried to feed it out in front. Good job by the Grizzlies to dive in front of it, and that was Hanson Bucata. Messner gets to the near goal line. Now he skates around Wells' net with ease. Messner's got great speed. Long strides to center ice. Gets around one Steelhead. Steps over the offensive line, but the whistle blows as the Eagle Eye linesman says the Grizzlies were offside with 12:25. That's the time remaining second period. Idaho leads 2-1. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 13-10. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
12:25 left in the second period. Idaho leads Utah 2-1. Nobody has scored here so far in the second period. All three of the first period goals came within a 3-minute stretch. We'll review the scoring here shortly. Nick Messner will take the draw. He's out there with Granton and Lebster. Jade Miller will take the draw for the Idaho Steelheads. He's out there with Walker and Robbie Holmes. Many new faces to the Steelheads roster as Idaho wins the draw. Trevor Zins in his third year with the Steelheads. Right wings a pass out towards Miller off his stick as Salem will push it ahead towards Grattan. He gets cut off by Zins. Walker dances at the line, gets to Miller left wing. Miller gets towards Holmes. Lefty shot kick saved by Wells as the Grizzlies come back the other way. Lebster stops in the left point, gets to the middle of the ice. Gansky crowns the bouncing puck, tried to feed it out in front as he tried to get to Grattan, and it goes wide. Now behind the net, Messner off his stick as the puck slides along the near wing wall. Zins gets there about the same time as Lebster. Messner in the area as well. Messner and Zins collide. Holmes comes out with the puck. As the Steelheads spread the ice, Zins has the puck down the middle of it, and he will wobble it as the puck gets about 5 feet of air under it. Walker couldn't get the bouncing knuckle puck as Voigt lets it go to center ice. Taking it as Felton loses control of it. Shea, near point, will bounce one off of Nevers, and the puck goes into the bench area, and the draw looks like it's going to be in the Steelhead zone. 11:31 left in the second period. Idaho leads 2-1. Scoring in the first period, Charlie Dodaro scored 5:17 in on a rebound from a Jardine shot. Grizzlies got a shorthanded unassisted goal from Mick Messner. 6:52 in, and then 7:40 in on that same Steelheads power play. It was Danny Genev getting his first as a pro, Dodaro, Charlie that is, and Mitch Wall with the assists. The star so far tonight is Chris Dodaro, who has 1 goal and 1 assist. Boltman has the puck in the offensive zone as Grizzly dove in front of it, and that's Christian Felton. Felton's second-year pro, played at Merrimack. So get it ahead to Manning. Manning's out there with Shea and Voigt. Manning races towards the left point, and now all the way towards the corners. He's being shadowed by Hoffman. Tough angled shot by Manning, and it's sticked away by Mayer. As Nevers has the puck to the left side, steps over the offensive line, gets towards the left circle, gets up top. Steelheads get it back towards Jardine. Right side, a shot, and he fanned on a one-timer. His stick didn't break, although it looked like the kind of shot where his stick probably would break. Nick Canati gets up top. Jardine over to Dodaro. Back to Jardine, left side. He'll fire towards the net. Saved by Wells as he caught the low liner, kind of helicoptered about knee high. And Wells was able to make the stop. 10:45 left in the first period. So Grizzlies will switch things up. Remember, this is just the first of 2 preseason games this weekend. The Grizzlies will be in Idaho Falls to take on the Steelheads. Coverage begins at about 6:45. Face-off will be at 7 o'clock. Not sure if it's 7 o'clock, 7:05, but they'll drop the puck at some point at Mountain America Center. Idaho wins the draw. As dancing around is Charlie Dodaro. He's an outstanding defenseman. He'll take a righty shot, and it's blocked away in front of the crease. It looked like Wells didn't have much vision on it. Charlie Dodaro gets it back. He fires towards the net, and it goes wide. He missed the net, stick side on Wells. Now centering pass, Weiss with a shot, saved by Wells. And the puck lifts out of play off the protective netting. Boy, the Steelheads got a centering pass out in front towards Bice. He was about 10 feet in front of the crease. And Bice is a good goal scorer, and Dylan Wells made a nice stop. So Idaho's taken the last 3 shots on goal, as both teams are now tied with 13 shots each. As we're just about at the halfway point, Idaho has scored on their lone power play of the game. Grizzlies have yet to go on the power play. Utah did have a pretty good week of practice. It's training camp for both teams. Connors will take the draw. He was the captain at Yale University back in the 2023-24 season. Last year, he was at St. Lawrence. He signed with the Grizzlies late March. He's got an AHL contract with the Eagles. Idaho gets it. Charlie Dodaro will fire it towards the far corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it. Griffin Ness gets a puck at center ice, trying to get towards Ricketts. Delayed offside. Idaho comes up with it. Pass to center ice, picked off by Salem off his stick. But Ports one-handed it deep into the Grizzlies zone. Grizzlies back up with it as it rolls along the far wing wall. Ness gets double-teamed as Jade Miller takes the puck away. And the Grizzlies are going to get called for a trip as Chris Dodaro had the puck at center ice. And the Grizzlies tripped him up. It's going to be Idaho's second power play of the night. The score is the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies 1. We're back in 1 minute. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
They're getting a little noisy in Boise as the Steelheads are on the power play. Riley Connors gets 2 minutes either for tripping or kneeing. Idaho's 1 for 1 on the power play, and if you're a Grizzlies fan, you know that the penalty kill is going to have to be an improvement this season. The Grizzlies did rank last in the league on the PK, but that's something they've been working on all week in practice. Brendan Hoffman will take the draw against Mick Messner. Remember, Messner scored a shorthanded goal in the first period. He scored 4 or 5 shorthanded goals in his Grizzlies career. Utah wins the draw and the helicoptered all the way as the puck skips on the ice, and Mayer will play it in front of the crease. Kneeing's officially the call for Connors as Charlie Dodaro rink wide feed to his brother, and it misconnects off a Grizzly stick. Hoffman lets it go towards Charlie Dodaro. He'll swing it around. Chris Dodaro. He gets cut off by Hanson Bucata. Grizzlies get the puck. Lepster bouncing off a wall. He gets it back, and he moves it out towards the Idaho line. Running it down is Charlie Dodaro, who's quarterbacking this power play unit. They're certainly going to miss Matt Register and A.J. White in power play situations. Mitch Wall wearing number 7, the 35-year-old. He'll dump it in. Wall gets around a couple of players. W-A-H-L his last name. Puck goes back to Wall in the near corner. He surveys. Now he pushes it back up top to Dodaro, who will pedal towards the high slot. He feeds it towards Genev. Siren pass, shot, a score. Have a night, Chris Dodaro. He got a centering pass all alone, and he fired it glove side past Wells. Looked like he kind of fired a changeup. It went past the Utah goaltender. Dodaro now has 2 goals and 1 assist on the night. So the difference in the game is 2 Idaho power play goals. And with 9:05 left in the second period, it's a 3-1 game. Genev was the one that centered it towards Charlie Dodaro, and he just kind of flipped it towards the net. Got it up top at the perfect accuracy. There wasn't a ton of velocity on it, but he couldn't put it in a better spot. So the Grizzlies are hoping come regular season time, the penalty kill unit will find a way to make its mark. But it's Idaho 3, Utah 1. Grizzlies helicopter it in. In particular, it's Christian Felton, number 42. As puck goes to the near side, Shea towards Manning. One-timer goes wide as he missed the net glove side on Mayer. Behind the net, Manning overskates it. Taking it is Jeff Baum, a 5'11 defenseman. He'll get it towards the right side for Holmes. Holmes trying to chip it ahead to Miller. It goes past him. C.J. Walker chasing after it. He collides along the boards as Christian Felton helped him along the way. As behind the net, Winslow holds his ground as the fans serenade Dylan Wells. Just about a sellout crowd here for a preseason game in Boise. Back behind Utah's net, Avery Winslow chips along the near wing wall. Shea got occupied by Boltman. Puck at center ice, and Baum drives it back in as it rolls along the boards. Felton in the far corner gets the puck. He'll push it back behind Utah's net to Winslow, who cycles it towards Shea. Shea off his stick as it collides with Zins. Now Shea gets it back. He right wings it out, looking for Felton. It glanced off of his stick. Porch tried to drive it in. It didn't get very far, and the Steelheads are offside. Felton delivered 2 pretty good hits on that shift. 8:03 is the time remaining in the second period as the Steelheads lead 3-1. Make sure to join us tomorrow for the second preseason game. We hope it's going to be on Flow Sports. If the Flow Sports people will get back to us. We know the game's going to be on YouTube one way or another with audio coverage. Regular season is just 7 days away as the Grizzlies take on Keaton Mastrodonado and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Draws a new try. Ty Pelton-Bice will take it against Evan Friesen, who had 2 solid years with the Wenatchee Wild. In fact, he led the Wild in goals last year. A lot of WHL influence in the Grizzlies roster once again this year. Grizzlies cross center ice, and Gansky flips it in as it ricochets off the Idaho backboard. Right side, sharp-angled shot taken by Fitz is blocked away by Mayer. Fitz has an A on his sweater, as he's been a team leader for the Grizzlies the last couple years. Malmquist, a good skater, will skate behind Idaho's net. Now he'll flip it around the wall to the far side. As the Grizzlies, Adam Berg delivers a hit. Grizzlies enter 2-on-2 from the right wing. As Fitz gets the puck, dances around. He waits for everybody else to enter. He saucers one across the Salem, who slides one to the right side. One-timer. Mayer got a piece of it, as Berg looked like he had decent accuracy on it, but it just kind of went through the crease. Bice zips it across. They still had spread the ice. Matt Anderson, who's been impressive tonight, displaying his speed, as Anderson played last year with Toledo in this league and Toronto and Utica in the American League. So he is a guy that's got a pretty good resume. Out to center ice, Fitz lifts it off his stick, and the Grizzlies will make a full line change. Ness will enter along with Ricketts, and staying out there is Riley Connors. Idaho dumps it in. Kanai's got good speed as he belts Aiden Hansen-Bucata behind Utah's net. Grizzlies get it back to Bucata. Rink-wide feed is off the stick, and it's regathered by Connors. Connors at center ice will sky it in as it goes towards the near corner. As Charlie Dodaro spins it towards the left point. Bucata fires towards the net wide as it ricochets off the end boards. 2-on-2 scrum over in the far corner. Puck is zipped from one corner to the other. Charlie Dodaro runs it down, and he will knuckle the puck all the way out towards center ice. The puck got about let's say 12 feet of air under it. As now in the Grizzly zone, Utah comes up with it. Lemaster to Buchanan, back to Lemaster. He'll feed it out towards his right. Grizzlies will zip it past Ricketts as the puck ricochets off the near wing wall and deep into the Idaho zone. As Grizzlies switch up forwards, as Gratton enters the ice. Mitch Wall will move it to his left. Idaho enters. As Chris Sodero on hat trick watch will drop it off. As Genev will take a shot and that's sticked away. Grizzlies come back the other way, skating from right to left. Gratton moves to his right. Grizzlies trying to get to the center for Winslow. Gratton gets trying to feed Winslow out in front. It goes wide. Messner fires towards the net. Save. Rebound. Idaho throws to the right side, but not out as it's kicked by a Grizzly as Christian Felton played soccer. Puck is lifted out to center ice. Buchanan with long strides. Make that Mick Messner number 10. He'll zip one towards the Steelheads bench for Winslow. We'll push it to the Idaho line. Idaho's Boltman. He tried to get Genev back at the Utah line. Pass misconnected. And icing is on the Steelheads with 5:30 left in the second. So it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies. First 4 games will be on the road, and then the Grizzlies' home opener will be on Saturday, October 25th. And then after that, the Jacksonville Icemen will be in for a 3-game series. Messner will take the draw against Jade Miller. Miller, a strong face-off performer. Messner's done a good job with the Grizzlies in the circle. Utah wins it. Gratton left side will take a lefty shot. Saved by Mayer, as that was a low liner about knee-high, and Mayer made a good glove save. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 17-14, but the difference in the game is 2 power play goals. Chris Tadero has 2 goals and 1 assist to lead the Steelheads' cause. 5:26 left in the second period. Idaho leads 3-1. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
5 minutes, 26 seconds. That's the time remaining. Second period. Idaho leads 3-1. Offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies. It's in the left circle. Mick Messner will take it against Jade Miller. Draw won by Utah as Tyler Gratton will get it to Salem left side. Salem with the lefty shot, and he got too much air under it as it went over the head of Mayer. Grizzlies still in the offensive zone. Gansky bouncing off the Steelhead. It goes to neutral ice. Salem bouncing puck. It's taken by Jade Miller, who enters the zone, but Holmes is already in there. Offside or the Steelheads. 5:13 left in the second period. So Dylan Wells gets a start in net for the Grizzlies. He has saved 11 of 14. Dryden McKay's the backup. We'll talk about him quite a bit when he makes his first appearance. McKay is a college hockey legend. He is the winningest goaltender in NCAA history. He was the 2022 Hobie Baker Award winner. We could talk all day about Dryden McKay. Actually, earlier in the day, it sounded like McKay was going to get this start, but it looks like Dylan Wells is in there. McKay is the backup. As Grizzlies getting out towards center ice, Mick Messner off his stick of neutral ice, and he drives it into the Steelhead zone. As Mayer whips it along the top of the boards towards the far corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left during the period. Webster gets knocked down by Miller. Holmes with it as he gets blasted by Messner. 2-on-2 battle as Miller continues to hold his ground on a Grizzly. As trying to join the plays, Messner, he gets hit in the back, and taking the puck is Boltman. He'll bounce off the glass. Puck wobbles into the Grizzlies bench as it goes over the head of assistant coach Ryan Anderson and head coach John Buchanan and first-year athletic trainer Brooke Timoney. The equipment manager is DJ McFarland. It's his first year as head equipment manager. He had been the assistant equipment manager each of the last 2 years. So a whole new staff. John Buchanan has a pretty good resume in junior hockey. Last couple of years, he was on the staff of the Idaho Falls Spud Kings, who won the Deneen Cup Championship. That's where the Grizzlies are going to be tomorrow over in Idaho Falls, home of the Spud Kings. Draw one by Utah. Ty Voigt skates towards the middle of the ice, now on the high slot. Take a righty shot, kick, saved by Mayer as the puck goes towards the near side. Idaho bouncing off of Voigt as he collides with Zins, trying to keep it in. Puck goes to Neutrice. Idaho gets it. Anderson over the line, left wing. Tries to center it as they try to find a cutting Mason Nevers. Pass misconnected. Grizzlies made a good defensive play to make sure Nevers wasn't in the area. And that was Luke Lemaster hugging Nevers to make sure he couldn't get the centering pass. Grizzlies out to Manning, who enters from the right side. Try to put a move on Zins. Zins goes down. I'm not sure that referee had a good angle on it, and I'm not sure the trip really is why Zins fell down. Luke Manning can't believe it, but he's going to the box, and Idaho gets the first 3 power plays of the night. You know, sometimes you get a favorable whistle in Boise. That's what the Steelheads seem to get from time to time, and Manning goes to the box. We're not sure about the names of the officials. They might be on the stat sheet. Sure, they're doing a great job, though, but that one looked like Zins fell on his own, and Zins was able to get the call. Well, Idaho's 2 for 2 on the power play tonight, and Grizzlies are going to need a big penalty kill to stay in this game. Grizzlies win the draw. Avery Winslow cycles it all the way around. It's kept in, though, by Malmquist in the right point. As Utah delivers a push along the near wing wall, Adam Berg gets physical. 3-on-3 scrum as a fourth Steelhead joins. Fitz hanging out in the slot as puck goes up top. It's kept in by Anderson. As he'll drop it from Malmquist. He'll feed it to the near goal line for Bice, who walks in. He'll take a shot kick saved by Wells. Puck goes up top, and Anderson keeps it in. Anderson with 2 different AHL teams last year, as well as Toledo. As he'll chip it over to the left point. Now back to Anderson, the high slot. He'll slide one towards Malmquist on the right side. Back up top to Anderson. He'll fire a lefty shot. It's saved by Wells. It trickled past him towards the far goal line. Stayed in. Now Malmquist gets to the left side. Back to Anderson. Lefty shot. Saved by Wells. As that one lifted off the stick of Anderson, and Wells was able to make a stop about shoulder high. 3:18 left in the second period. 1:14 left in the Idaho power play. Steelheads had a couple close calls. And as they show the replay, Anderson shot from the high slot, bounced off the Wells. Puck hippity hop towards the far goal line. And luckily for the Grizzlies, the puck had a mind of his own and was able to stay out of the net. Brendan Hoffman will take the drop. He'll go up against Riley Connors. Connors may take some of the key faceoffs of the Grizzlies this year. As Utah wins the draw, Noah Gansky will helicopter it all the way into the Steelhead zone deep. In terms of faceoff men for the Grizzlies, we'll probably see a lot of Messner, Manning, and Connors at the faceoff dot this season. Charlie Dodaro will drop it off. Genevieve, the Penn State product, will walk in. His first name, believe it or not, starts with a D. It's a very tricky one. So he'll get it up top to Charlie Dodaro. He'll saucer it back to Genevieve at the line. He's able to keep it in. He'll move it to Hoffman, right side. Hoffman tried to find Chris Dodaro on hat trick watch. He couldn't reach it. Mitch Wall tried to get to Charlie Dodaro, and the Grizzlies get the puck in the far circle, and Riley Connors clears it out. Connors comes off the ice. Rink-wide feed, but Chris Dodaro was still in the Grizzlies zone, so offside are the Steelheads with 2:36 left in the second period. And it looks like the draw is going to come back into the Steelhead zone. So Luke Manning's in the box, 2 minutes for tripping. You know, we believed was kind of a ticky-tack call in a game where they haven't necessarily called it that tight. Play's been physical throughout. For my money, this is one of the best rivalries in the league. Messner's out there with Lepster, and the 2 defensemen for the Grizzlies are Noah Gansky and Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Bukata, the Ohio State product, for my money, might be the first Ohio State product since Sasha Larocque was with the Grizzlies back in the 2019-2020 season. Larocque was just that for the Grizzlies. One of several defensemen for the Grizzlies that were rookies that year, but they got better as the season went on. Kanadi with the puck. He steps our line, tries to split a double team. He'll throw it towards the far side and he gets it back. He'll push it up top. Anderson, with a lot of experience, gets it towards Malmquist. He's all alone. Right side, lefty shot, saved by Wells, and he covers up. Good job by the Grizzlies to build a 4-man wall at the crease, as well as bobbled it, but he was able to collect it and hold on with 2:16 left in the second period and 11 seconds left in the power play. It's been fun to see Tyler Gratton tonight. 6'2", they list him at 187 pounds, but he looks bigger and stronger than that. He did lead the Reading Royals with 20 goals last season. And obviously Ryan Anderson, the new Grizzlies assistant coach, knows him well, as Anderson was an assistant with Reading last year. Anderson had great things to say about Reading as a town. Earlier this week when I talked to him, Idaho gets the draw as they get it up top towards Canady. As Canady lifts it back towards the near corner, as Manning's going to come out of the box right now. First successful penalty kill by the Grizzlies tonight. Gratton gets the puck. He'll push towards Manning right side. Manning stops just outside the right circle. He'll drop it for Friesen. Lefty shot. Saved by Mayer. Puck lifts towards the far corner. Manning gets it. As he collides with Baum, and Christodero will wobble the puck out to center ice. Nevers couldn't reach it. As the puck goes back towards Malmquist, who walks down the middle of the ice. He'll push it to Pelton Bice on the left side. Bice will take a lefty shot. Glove saved by Wells. And he holds on with 1:40 left in the second. So draws game in the Grizzlies zone. We mentioned it a couple times tonight, but the Grizzlies do have quite a few returning forwards, and so we're thinking about those new guys, and Ty Voigt's out there with Shea and Manning. You know, Voigt size-wise kind of reminds me of Trey Bradley, and if he has the speed and playmaking ability of Bradley, he's going to be a pretty good one. He was on a 3-year NHL entry-level deal recently with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Draw won by the Grizzlies. It was Luke Manning that won the face-off as Noah Gansky will push it behind Utah's net. Salem collects the puck. Salem dangles back and forth. Now gets to Shea, was battling with Baum. Puck slides deep into the Steelhead zone. Near corner, it's swept away as Boltman gets to the far corner. Voigt gets the puck. Voigt centering pass out in front, looking for Manning, and it was a tough angle. Manning with a one-time chip that Mayer made a save on. And it looks like a Steelhead was trying to get physical with Manning. Voigt in the area as well. Nil Shea as... looks like everybody's lingering behind Idaho's bench. Hey, how was your summer? Mine was great. How was yours? I'm not so good. Everybody having a few words. Looks like a very friendly chat, though. We mentioned the Grizzlies. That forward line has a ton of speed with Manning, Voigt, and Shea, but they don't necessarily have a ton of size. But Voigt with a pretty good pass there towards Manning, but it was on a bit of a tough angle, and Mayer was able to do a good job on the short post to close the door, and then Voigt got a little bit of physical bomb there as well. And obviously Jake Boltman with his size, he's going to get physical anytime he wants to. Droughton's going to be in the right circle. It's an offensive zone one for Utah. Manning will take it against Jade Miller. Miller's a good face-off man for the Steelheads, but Manning wins it this time. Salem right side, lefty shot, saved by Mayer. It ricochets off his hip, and he was able to collect it in the crease and stop play with 1:15 left in the second. I'm not sure what the official total is, but it looks like the Grizzlies are winning their fair share of face-offs tonight. We had mentioned Manning, Messner, and Connors probably being three guys that are going to take a lot of face-offs for the Grizzlies this year. Might see Evan Friesen take a lot of draws as well. Utah wins the draw as a stick gets broken, and it's a Steelhead. Jade Miller won the face-off, but he broke a stick. As he will come off the ice as the Beast, who's been around as long as the franchise, tried to get him a stick, but it looked like Miller decided that his shift was over. Manning near side, shot saved by Mayer on a bit of a tough angle at the near goal line. Puck wobbles towards the far side as Voigt has to go between his legs. Now Voigt recollects it. He falls down, but he chips it back towards the near wing wall to Shea, who runs it down. He'll feed it to Manning. As Manning gets held up by Baum along the near side, Shea comes in, takes the puck. He'll roll it along the boards. Kept in the right point by LeMaster. He'll flip it to the right corner. Boltman gets it. Problem, plays for the Steelheads. It gets out to center ice, out to C.J. Walker as a chip off his stick. It goes into the Grizzlies zone. Utah runs it down. Half a minute left in the second period. Idaho leads 3-1. Griffin Ness to the right side, walks in, gets it towards Ricketts. Backhand shot saved by Mayer. And after the whistle, Riley Connors gets physical with a couple Steelheads. Well, Utah looking for some rebounds. It looks like there's been a couple shots there where Mayer's bobbled it just a little bit. But he hasn't bobbled it and mishandled it enough to where the Grizzlies can take advantage of a rebound. It looks like the Grizzlies are cognizant of knowing that Mayer has left a few rebounds there in front of the crease, and they're charging the net pretty hard. I believe Griffin Ness can have a strong year for the Grizzlies. It's his second full year as a pro, and he made a strong impression at the end of last year. Remember, he was acquired by the Grizzlies in March in a trade for Cole Gallant. Gallant is playing in Europe somewhere this season. Ness actually appeared in 73 games last year, 59 with Toledo and 14 with the Grizzlies. Idaho wins the draw. They're lifting out to center ice. Puck bounces in the Grizzlies zone. And it looks like icing is waved off as Ports was able to get there in front of Hanson Bukata. Canadi dances around. Sharp angled shot saved by Wells. 5 seconds left in the period. Ports fires towards the net, and it's sticked away by Wells. And it hits off the protective netting with about 2 seconds left in the period. So looks like the score after 2 is going to be Idaho 3, Utah 1. Grizzlies lead the shot count 23 to 21. After 2 periods, looks like they put 0.2 of a second on the clock here at Idaho Central Arena. It's the type of weekend where the Grizzlies probably want to look at different situations. They haven't had a power play tonight, oddly enough, and I'm sure they would like to see some power plays this weekend just to work on it here through the 2-game preseason schedule. Now they've put 2.2 seconds left on the clock. Obviously, Steelheads would need to win the faceoff cleanly and then fire something on net. Connors will take it against Hoffman. And now looks like Connors is kicked out of the faceoff circle. So taking the draw is going to be Griffin Ness. Ness wearing number 77 this year. Actually, quite a few Grizzly players who are wearing different jersey numbers. Puck goes towards the near corner. Nothing happens. Now we'll do it for 40 minutes of hockey here at Idaho Central Arena. The only goal in the second period was a power play tally by Chris Dodaro, and he's the odds-on favorite for the number 1 star of the game as he has 2 goals and 1 assist for the Steelheads. Mick Messner with a shorthanded tally, 6.5 minutes into the first period. He has Utah's lone goal. We'll come back and recap the stats for the first 40 minutes of play and we'll also talk some hockey. And maybe this time we'll go over some ECHL preseason scores as well. Well, we'll see if the Grizzlies have a third period comeback in them. After 40 minutes of play, Idaho leads Utah 3-1. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Second intermission here at Idaho Central Arena, and the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 3-1. It's been the Chris Dodaro show for the Steelheads. He has contributed to all 3 Idaho goals. Dodaro scored 5:13 into the contest as Sam Jardine took a shot down the middle of the ice, and puck bounced kind of awkwardly. There was some loose change out in front of the crease. Dodaro found the puck before Dylan Wells could, and Dodaro fired it past the goal line as Idaho took a 1-0 lead. Steelheads got a power play as Riley Connors got a cross-checking minor, 6:19 in, but 33 seconds into the Idaho power play, it was Mick Messner. I was thinking about Mitch Maxwell because there was a comment mentioning Mitch Maxwell being Mr. Clutch a handful of years ago. But Mick Messner certainly has kind of played that role for the Grizzlies, and in particular, shorthanded. In his time in a Utah uniform, he's been Utah's Iron Man over the last 2+ seasons. He anticipated the puck going towards the high slot, got a step on it, and he knifed it away before the Steelheads were able to get it. Puck slid into the Idaho zone along the left circle. Messner won a foot race, got the puck, and then just moved to his right a little bit in front of the crease and fired a beautiful backhand shot past Nolan Mayer to tie it up at 1. It was a great individual performance. If you want to know what that goal looks like, go to the Grizzlies social media account on X, as the highlight of that Mick Messner goal is on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Later on in that same Idaho power play, the Steelheads took a 2-1 lead. It was kind of a common play the Steelheads run where they get the puck to one goal line and then just kind of feed a cross-ice pass through the crease for a one-time attempt. We've seen the Steelheads try that for many years, and obviously the Everett Sheen era, as I believe this is the 6th season as Steelheads head coach, might even be a 7th year with Idaho. He's been there quite a while, and so, you talk about that pass getting towards the Penn State product, Danny Geniev, and he got a one-timer and was able to put it in the back of the net before Wells could recover towards his left. And Idaho took a 2-1 lead, and on that goal, Chris Tadero and Mitch Wall, the former Grizzly, and he's in a second stint with the Steelheads. They each picked up the assists. Idaho led 2-1 after one period of play, despite the fact the Grizzlies outshot the Steelheads 11-9. The only goal in the second period was a power play goal by Charlie Tadero, as Riley Connors got a knee minor 10:03 in, and about halfway through the power play, Tadero found himself all alone in the slot. And he didn't put a ton of velocity on the shot. Looked like he kind of fired a changeup as it just kind of looped off his stick and had the perfect accuracy over Dylan Wells' shoulder. He couldn't have placed it in a better spot, and he was able to find the back of the net. 10:55 in as Geniev and Tadero, his brother Charlie Tadero, picked up the assist. So it's been the Tadero show for Idaho. Chris Tadero, 2 goals and 1 assist. Charlie Tadero with 1 assist tonight, and that's where we stand. The difference in the game is the 2 Idaho power play goals, and they lead 3-1. And obviously, we don't want to mention too many of a sore subject, but the Grizzlies did struggle on the penalty kill at times last year, and that's going to be a point where if the Grizzlies want to have a successful year, they're going to have to find a way to just buckle down on the penalty kill. They need an 80+ percentage penalty kill this season. Last year they were in the 60s for most of the year, and I know that's something that John Mechanic, the new head coach, and Ryan Anderson, Jack Skilley, and I've even seen Garrett Metcalf at practice a couple times this week. Looks like Anderson's the only assistant coach that's here on the road trip for this preseason, but that's something that the Grizzlies are going to have to find a way to buckle down on and improve if they want to have a successful year. They got to find a way to get better on the penalty kill. Just the way it is. Right now, that's the difference in the game. Otherwise, 5-on-5, Grizzlies look like they're holding their own. It looks like the Grizzlies have played pretty physical here, and obviously for a lot of the defensemen, there's some chemistry that needs to be developed. We mentioned a few times now the Grizzlies have quite a few returning forwards. In fact, 9 of the 12 forwards in the Grizzlies lineup tonight are returning players. We'll talk about the scratches later on in the intermission, as I'm not sure you've gone over them. But it's a completely different defensive alignment for the Grizzlies, just about an entirely new defensive unit. And I know there's a ton of potential there. A couple of younger players like Hanson Bukata and Christian Felton, who's in his second season as a pro. Noah Gansky, he's somebody that had a couple great years with Fort Wayne. He's going to be solid. I've liked what I've seen from Avery Winslow. Looks like he makes quick decisions with the puck, and he's got 2 years of experience in this league. If Colby Enns ends up playing tomorrow, he's a scratch defensively, but he's a first-year pro that had a solid college career at Merrimack, and so I'm interested in seeing what he looks like. It might take a little bit of time, though, for that defensive unit to gel, as obviously they've just gotten to know each other quite a bit this week, and training camp's only 1 week, and obviously this is kind of the culmination of what's happened. I don't even know if I'm using the term right, but, the first week of training camp comes to a close, and you got 2 preseason games, and this is certainly a great dress rehearsal, and really for the defensive unit, a good way to get some game tape out there and, make some adjustments along the way. There's a lot of talent there, and the Grizzlies have held their own pretty well a 5-on-5 tonight, but it might take them a little bit of time to get gelling defensively because it's just a lot of new faces that are trying to pick it up on the dead run. Dylan Wells in net for the Grizzlies has saved 18 of 21. Nolan Mayer, the Yorkton, Saskatchewan native, 24 years old, listed at 5'11". I believe he's a little bit bigger than that. Mayer has saved 22 of 23 in net for the Steelheads. So we'll see if the Grizzlies have a third period comeback in them. Idaho leads 3-2 heading into the third period. Other preseason action in the league. Looks like every other game has gone final. Adirondack defeats Reading 3-1. Maine gets a 4-2 victory over Worcester. The Greensboro Gargoyles pick up a victory 4-1 over the Jacksonville Icemen. W. Murphy has a goal for Greensboro. That might be Wade Murphy, the former Steelhead. Former longtime trainer Colin Lee is now a member of that Greensboro Gargoyle organization, and they defeat Jacksonville 4-1. Toledo gets a 3-0 victory over Kalamazoo. Former Grizzly Chad Hillebrand had one of the 3 goals for Toledo. And in a shootout, Florida defeats Orlando 3-2. The shootout game winner was scored by Logan Will. Also scoring a shootout goal for Florida is former Grizzly Taryn Fizer, who had a couple outstanding seasons in a Grizzlies uniform. Fizer had 5 shots on goal, and the Florida Everblades look like they've got an outstanding roster once again this season. In a shootout, Florida defeats Orlando 3-2. In the Adirondack Reading game, the Ragin' Sajin, Brandon Sajin, former Grizzly, who played on the 2018-2019 club. He scored Reading's lone goal in the Maine Worcester game. Looks like one of Maine's goals was scored by Cooper Jones, of all people. Jones had a couple of goals, and it looked like he had signed on for the Grizzlies for this season, but he ended up in the uniform of the Maine Mariners, and Cooper Jones scored a goal for the Maine Mariners tonight. Callan had both goals for the Worcester Railers on their side. So that's a preseason action here in the league. We would go over NHL scores and check in on those who are living the dream, but there are no NHL games tonight. Quite a few teams are going to be in action tomorrow. Last night, the Utah Mammoth had their first game with their new identity. They were taking on the Colorado Avalanche in a game where I swear I was just hoping both teams would have fun. It would end in a shootout and maybe somehow end in a tie. After all, we're Colorado Avalanche affiliates, but the Utah Mammoth do play about 8 miles away from Maverick Center. Colorado did pick up a 2-1 victory. At the end of the game, Scott Wedgwood certainly made the difference for Colorado. He made some big saves, and they showed a shot on SCG where Wedgwood was having a good time with the other goaltender in uniform. And that other goaltender was Trent Miner, who's going to be with the Steelheads, or going to be with the Avalanche until Mackenzie Blackwood gets back and healthy. It's certainly great to see Trent Miner in an NHL uniform. He's deserving, and obviously he's the Grizzlies' all-time shutout king. And I am hoping that Trent Miner can get in some games with Colorado before Mackenzie Blackwood gets back and healthy. Colorado won 2-1 last night. That was a fun game. Dylan Gunther had the lone goal for Utah. It was a power play goal. Mammoth have to like what they did defensively in that game. They certainly perform more well on the defensive side, especially against a team like Colorado that has as much firepower as they do. Tomorrow, a couple of the keep games are going to be watching out for. At 6 o'clock, the Mammoth take on the Nashville Predators. That's a game that's going to be played in Nashville as both the Mammoth and Grizzlies start their regular seasons on the road. Avalanche have a game at 7 o'clock as they host the Dallas Stars in a rematch of the first-round series last season. And that was a tough one for Colorado, not just because they had a third-period lead and lost Game 7, but it was the hat trick that was scored by Mikko Rantanen. That was certainly a tough one for Avalanche fans to take, but this is a new year, and the Avalanche look like they're a pretty loaded club. And they're hoping to be a little bit better defensively this season. I'm certainly looking forward to Colorado being a cup contender this year. And we'll see what happens with the Utah Mammoth. It would certainly be fun in their second season of existence coming over from Arizona with a brand new franchise. It would be fun to see the Mammoth make a postseason run this season. So we're going to watch those 2 NHL games. Just about everybody's in action in the National Hockey League tomorrow. We got about 5 minutes of real time till the start of the third period. No NHL games to report. Preseason action in the NBA. In overtime, the Spurs defeat the Jazz 134-130. They're going to the bottom of the ninth. Now remember, you're on Flow Sports. You got a video stream. You can turn on the TV and watch Tigers and Mariners and do a little bit of multitasking. That game is into the bottom of the ninth, and the Tigers and Mariners are tied at 2. Fifth game in a best-of-5 series. The winner will face the Toronto Blue Jays in the ALCS. A couple college football scores tomorrow here in Boise. The Boise State Broncos will host the New Mexico Lobos. And so that's probably a big reason as to why we're playing tonight here on a Friday as opposed to tomorrow when Boise State takes on the New Mexico Lobos. A couple of college football scores. Rutgers leads Washington 13-10 at halftime. Colorado State leads Fresno State 35-14. That game is also at the half. When we come back, we will have third period action. We'll also go over some of the other stats of the first 2 periods on the other side. After 2 frames, Idaho leads Utah 3-1, and the Idaho power play has made the difference. 2 power play goals, including one by Chris Dodaro, who has 2 goals and 1 assist. His brother Charlie Dodaro has 1 assist. Who's the older of the Dodaro brothers? Well, Charlie was born, I don't even know if I trust this, but Charlie Dodaro apparently was born on October 1st, 1992. And Chris Dodaro was born on June 8th, 1996. So it looks like Charlie Dodaro is the older brother, and he is 33 years old. Chris Dodaro is the younger brother, and he is 29, as if my current high math is coming through for me. We'll come back and have third period action on the other side. Maybe we'll dance to MIA $10 if they got it going on as well. We're getting a little noisy in Boise. Let's see if the Grizzlies have a comeback in them. Idaho leads Utah 3-1. This has been the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. We're about set for third period action as Idaho leads Utah 3-1. Don't forget, this is just the first of 2 preseason games for the Grizzlies this weekend. Both teams will be at Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls tomorrow night. Face-off will be at 7 o'clock. And make sure to get your tickets for that game, although that might turn out to be a sellout by the time we're through. There's a few empty seats now because people are roaming around the concession stands. And if you've never been to Boise or seen a game here, it's certainly an interesting site with 2 levels of seating, concourse, but it's just one big room that we're in, and it's certainly unique. The Utah Mammoth were here last week, and I'm sure Mike Folta was honored to be in about the same spot that I was in as he was calling the game for the Mammoth. As the Steelheads have hit the ice, Grizzlies have already hit the ice in their white jerseys with black numbers and professional green trim. As they've decided to go with a different song to start the third period. They had played MIA $10. MIA is the artist and $10 is the song. And me and Cam McGuire used to dance to that often. Cam McGuire has moved on to the Ontario reign of the AHL. I hear the weather is good about 12 months of the year out there. Justin Russo is the new broadcaster for the Steelheads this season. Russo had been with the Henderson Silver Knights, working under former Steelheads broadcaster Brian McCormack. And so obviously there are some connections there. And Russo, who I believe is about 26 years old, is to my right calling the games for the Steelheads this upcoming season. Grizzlies will start the third period with Tyler Gratton, Mick Messner, and Reed Lebster. And the defensive pairing is Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. So the same five that started the game starts for the Grizzlies here in the third period. And it should be the same five for Idaho. And that will include Nick Canati, along with Brendan Hoffman and Mason Nevers, and the defensive pairing of Charlie Dodaro and Samuel Jardine. Puck is dropped to center ice. Messner wins it against Hoffman. Puck bounces to Gansky. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the third period. Gansky directs to Lebster. It flies off his stick deep into the Steelhead zone. Charlie Dodaro runs it down, gets it to Jardine. As Canati spins around, he's able to throw it to the center of the ice. Now up ahead to Hoffman. Hoffman splits a double team, gets back checked. He'll take a righty shot, saved by Wells, and he holds on. Good job by Hoffman to split a double team. And he was one of Idaho's best goal scorers last year. He had 25 goals and 25 assists during the 2024-25 season. Hoffman, a native of Charlotte, North Carolina. He just turned 25 years old yesterday. So happy birthday to Brendan Hoffman a day late, 6'3", 223 pounds. And he'll take the draw against Mick Messner. Messner was born in Madison, Wisconsin, and he is 26 years old. Messner gets the puck, and he'll move it towards Gratton at neutral ice. Gratton gets hit in the back and gets divorced from the puck. Hoffman will direct it towards Nevers as he gets around Gansky. Both guys wear number 21, but Nevers lost the puck. Now Nevers battles with Salem as Gansky holds up Canati. Grizzlies come out of the pile with the puck. Utah looking to win those 50-50 pucks this year, more than 50% of the time. Messner over to Zins, and Zins crashes along the boards as he got nudged by Messner. Puck goes off the far wing wall. Zins gets around Messner to take the puck. He'll throw it to Pelton Bice. Bice left wing. He'll take a lefty shot. Didn't get much on it, and Wells sticks it away. Now behind the net, it's Nick Ports. Number 20 gets up top to Anderson across the Zins. Now down the middle of the ice, Malmquist moves it towards Anderson, left wing, who trips it to the middle of the ice. Gratton feeds it back towards the near wing wall. Anderson up top to Zins. Over to the right side. One-timer by Pelton Bice goes wide. Anderson has the puck off his knee as the Steelheads reset. Bice tried to move it in, lost control of the puck, and Ports entered. Offside are the Steelheads with 18:36. That's the time remaining here in the third period. Don't forget to join us for our home opener. That's going to be 15 days from now, Saturday, October 25th. Make sure to get there early, as we're certainly going to remember and honor Mr. Kevin Bruder, who passed away in May at the age of 56. We had mentioned him during the pregame show, and we're going to dedicate every Grizzlies broadcast from now until the end of the season to Kevin Bruder, and really I'll dedicate my entire career because I owe him quite a bit. And he is certainly missed, and over the last 5 months with everything that's gone on, he's been missed more than ever. As the Steelheads win the draw, they chip it in. Voigt falls down as the puck slides to center ice. As Boltman will drive it back in off the far wing wall. Wells behind his net cuts it off to LeMaster. Grizzlies looking for a comeback bid. They trail 3-1 about 2 minutes into the third period. LeMaster trying to get it to Shea. It glanced off a Steelhead stick and flies into the air. As the puck drops, Shea dumps it in. And it looks like we got a different, it's going to be Mayer for the duration of this game. They might switch goaltenders tomorrow midway through the game. Left point, shot by Bucott is blocked away. As the puck bounces over LeMaster's stick. Genev gets it, left side. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Wells, as that was a low liner by the Penn State product. Danny Genev, who spells his name D-Z-H-A-N-I-Y-E-V. That's an interesting spelling bee kind of word. That's going to be part of Steelhead's spelling bee if they have that during the course of the season. Looks like he's going to be a pretty good player. They've been talking about him all week long in Boise, and I can see why. Not very big, listed at 5'5". He looks like he's probably closer to 5'7" or so. It looks like he's a pretty quick one, and he's got a good shot to boot. Grizzlies win the draw. Gansky will bounce off the glass as gloved by Fitz, and he drops it. Berg gets the puck. Skates into the left wing, stops on a dime. Grizzlies are all in the offensive zone. Berg feeds to Salem, left point, lefty shot, save. Rebound shot, saved by Mayer. Now the Grizzlies score! It's Evan Friesen in front of the crease as he nudged the puck in the back of the net, and it's now a 3-2 game. Boy, Salem fired into traffic. Fitz was in the area, and there was just some loose change out in front. Friesen was in the right place at the right time, and he just slid it past the goal line. So Salem probably gets an assist as there was traffic with about 4 bodies. Fitz with a backhand shot that bounced off the Mayer. Mayer lost his balance, and Friesen did a good job boxing Jade Miller out for the puck in front of the crease. So it looks like it should be maybe Salem and Fritz on the assist as Fitz's backhand shot bounced off of Mary, lost his balance. The rebound was collected by Friesen, who put it away. Evan Friesen scored his first pro goal with the Grizzlies late last season. In fact, he scored that goal on April 11th, the next to last game in the regular season against Rapid City. Friesen last year in 66 games with the Wenatchee Wild had 32 goals and 29 assists. So it's going to be Salem and Fitz with the assists on the Friesen goal. It's a 3-2 game. Idaho has the puck at center ice, skating from right to left. Zins over the line, trying to drop it for Miller, and it didn't get there as Ricketts moves it ahead to Ness. Ness one-on-one over the line. Grizzlies will enter the zone as well. Ness trying to get it towards Connors on a hot pass. He couldn't handle it. As Walker gets it across center ice, CJ's his first name, and he'll sky it deep into the Grizzlies zone as it ricochets off the Grizzlies backboard. Holmes gets the puck as he knocked down Salem, tried to center, and it's picked up by Connors. As Idaho trying to get it to Hoffman. Now Holmes gets it back. Hoffman acts if he got hit by a high stick. As the Steelhead stick broke, and that was Jeff Baum. He will skate towards the bench as he gets a new stick from Chris Bestel, the Beast, the equipment manager. As Ricketts gets the puck, tries to negotiate his way around both Dideros and Hoffman, and the puck's taken away. Charlie Didero gets the puck, trying to get it towards Hoffman. It's cut off by Christian Felton. Felton wearing number 42. I'm thinking about every other 42 that's worn it in Grizzlies history. For some reason, Felton's name can't come to mind. As it still heads towards the left circle. Now Canati, lefty shot. Save. Rebound shot and a score. Boy, shot was fired into traffic. And looks like it's going to be Mason Nevers scoring the goal. Boy, puck was on the left side. There's about 3 or 4 bodies. I'm not sure the puck ever got to Wells. He kind of moved towards his right a little bit and over towards the far side to Wells' left is where the puck was, and Nevers put it away. They show a replay. I think they're showing it on Flow Sports as well, as Nevers dropped it off for Canati. Canati's shot bounced off of Wells, and then Nevers just kind of skated horizontally from one side of the crease to the other. Nevers got the rebound and put it away. Great individual effort by Mason Nevers, who spent some time in the Big Ten with the University of Minnesota. So Steelheads get some insurance, 4-2. And after the Grizzlies got back into the game with a Friesen goal, Idaho responds. Centering pass is picked off as Grattan gets it ahead to Messner right side. Messner steps over the blue line. Now he gets around one skater. Grizzlies haven't had a power play as Messner blows the tire as he tried to get around Sam Jardine. Fans serenade Dylan Wells. A former Steelhead, if I remember right. Reed Lebster moves it across, overled for Messner. Messner collides sticks with Jardine. Both guys wear number 10. Idaho comes out with it as Bice moves to his right. Idaho trying to get towards Bice, tape to tape. Bice swings and misses as he was looking for that quick wrist shot, stick side on Wells. Grattan with the puck as he continues his battle with Malmquist. Now Grattan feeds it back towards Lemaster. Grattan and Pelton Bice have some words for each other, some strong words. A little bit more than how was your summer vacation. As Bucata, rink wide to Lemaster, who will push it ahead. As it's overled for Manning, did he get a piece of it? Linesmen say no, and icing is on the Grizzlies with 15:09 left in the third. Kind of a tough one for the Grizzlies. Looked like they had gotten some momentum on that Friesen goal, making it a 1-goal game, and Idaho responded pretty quickly. And that was a play that was made almost solely by Nevers, with Canati getting the shot off on the left side, and then Nevers was able to get the rebound and put it away. So on the Utah goal that was scored 2:23 in, Friesen gets the goal with Fitz and Salem getting the assist. Idaho's third period goal was scored 3:41 in with Nevers getting the goal, Canati with the lone assist. Grizzlies win the draw, rink wide feed off the boards. Voigt gets it. He's in the right wing, steps over the line, dangles back and forth. He's a good skater. Over to Shea, who gets held up in the corner. Voigt joins the play, trying to get to Manning, but it was overled for him. Steelheads have numbers 3-on-2. They cross center ice. Manning on the back check. Now to the right side. Chris Tadero on hat trick watch. He fumbles the puck, gets it back. He loses. Salem pushes it ahead. 2-on-1 if the Grizzlies want it. Voigt to Shea over the line. Now 2-on-2. Shea trying to center it to Voigt, but the pass is behind him as Boltman got a stick in the way. Voigt gets held up along the boards. 2-on-2 battle. As Friesen spins by, Shea gets pushed in the back. Friesen looking after a loose puck as he gets there about the same time as Jeff Baum. Puck lifts out of play off the protective netting. It got redirected, so no delay of game. 14:26 left in the third period, and the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. So in terms of, obviously Idaho's 2 for 3 on the power play, but in terms of 5-on-5 goals, both teams have scored twice. Utah has held their own in 5-on-5 situations here tonight. Oddly enough, the Grizzlies haven't had a power play yet. We'll see if they'll get one here shortly. Frieson's out there with Fitzenberg. And up top is Winslow and Christian Felton. Grizzlies win the draw as Winslow skates around the net, shields Holmes from the puck. Now Winslow stops in the left corner. Now throw it back to Berg in the near goal line. Berg on the right side. Centers to Fitz, who swings and misses. Boy, if Fitz would have gotten a piece of that one, could be a 4-3 game. It's 4-2 Steelheads now. Idaho dumps it in. Wells plays behind his net. And so throw it back to the near side for Winslow. Winslow, the former Wheeling Nailer and Orlando Solar Bear. He played 62 games over the last 2 years with Orlando. Grizzlies enter from the left side. Berg at the point. Drops for Felton back to Berg. Berg scored a big shorthanded goal in the regular season finale last year. Fitz dangles the puck. Now he gets to Felton up top left point. Felton shields Walker from the puck. Now he gets to Bucata, right high slot. Over to Berg off his stick. Bucata tried to feather one out in front to Friesen, who wasn't looking. Fitz on the right side. Gets to the left wing for Bucata. Bucata will bounce off a stick. As the Grizzlies trying to play baseball about waist high with Friesen, it bounced off the Steelhead. Carrying it out of the zone is Holmes. He'll get to the center red line, and he'll chip it on to Wells, who cuts it off in front of the crease, and he'll keep the play alive. Both teams will reshuffle the deck and get fresh forwards. 13-13 on a moving clock. Grizzlies still in their own zone, skating from left to right. Puck is fanned towards Lemaster, who gets it, moves to center ice for Ness. Now it goes back to Lemaster. He'll push it to Bucata, who left swings it out to center ice, looking for Ricketts. Glanced off of his stick, and Hoffman comes up with it. Brendan Hoffman across center ice, loses the puck. Now it's off the Grizzlies' stick as Ricketts tried to move it ahead, and it's played by Anderson, who dumps it in. Anderson rolls it towards the far corner. He gets the puck back. He'll drive it back up top to Zims, who zips it to Kanadi. Kanadi had been a defenseman at times. Now he's playing forward. Right side, Zinn's shot saved by Wells. As Zinn's fired away from the right point, Wells makes the stop. 12:41 left in the third period. Idaho leads 4-2. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
12:41 is the time remaining third period as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads with Idaho leading 4-2. Both times the Grizzlies have scored goals, one in the first period with Messner shorthanded, and then in the third period, obviously, Steelheads responded with a goal in short order. That's usually what a good team does, and that's what the Steelheads have done year in and year out. So they do a pretty good job responding after the opposing team scores a goal. Riley Connors will take the draw for the Grizzlies against Brendan Hoffman. Draw won by Idaho. They're in the offensive zone, skating from right to left. And starting pass, Kanadi, shot saved by Wells. Grizzlies box out Idaho, Hoffman in particular, and Wells is able to cover up. Good play by the Steelheads. They got in the right corner. They found a cutting Kanadi, and Kanadi put it away. Can't really tell if Kanadi doesn't look like anybody's wearing a letter for Idaho, but everybody here believes that Kanadi might end up being the Steelheads captain for this upcoming season. Nick Messner is wearing the captaincy for the Grizzlies for the second straight year. And Dylan Wells has an A. Can't see if anybody else has an A. As Idaho wins the draw, Hoffman walks in. Righty shot saved by Wells. Salem gets the rebound. Luke Salem dancing around, second full season as a pro. He helicopters one ahead. Pass Ricketts as Mayer bouncing off a Ricketts stick. Puck behind Idaho's net. Grizzlies get a rough ride towards the corner. Griffin Ness delivers a blow. As the puck goes to the left point, as Salem plays soccer trying to move it ahead, puck slides past him to center ice. Gansky, pretty good skater for a guy 6'7", gets to center ice, no move it in. Gansky comes off. He's going to be a fun one for the Grizzlies all year long. As Ness and Kanadi drags down Ness in front of the Steelheads bench. Nick Kanadi's a guy that will drop the gloves about 10 times a year. He was battling with Griffin Ness out in front of Idaho's bench. Kanadi's going to get a penalty. Griffin Ness gets up pretty slowly. And it looks like Ness is going to get a penalty as well. Kanadi gets the crowd fired up in Idaho Central Arena. Ness will go to the box as well. Remember, Ness put on a pretty good hit earlier in the shift, deep in the Steelhead zone along the far wing boards. It was either Kanadi that took the brunt of that, or it was Kanadi taken up for a teammate. And it really wasn't much of a fight. They jostled around. It looked like both guys maybe thought about dropping the gloves. It looks like neither guy had his gloves. But play continued, and then Kanadi just dragged down Ness. Not all that action happened in front of the Idaho bench. And even 12 minutes were left in the third period, and they did show a shot on the video board, and Kanadi did have the C on his sweater. So it does look like we can confirm Nick Kanadi's the captain of the Steelheads for this upcoming season. They show Ness in the video board, and he doesn't get as warm of a reception. I don't think Ness cares, though. It does look like the Grizzlies are going to get their first power play of the game as Kanadi gets an extra 2 minutes as a Penn State product. Danny Genev, I'm going to get it right by the end of this weekend. He's in the box representing him, and the Grizzlies will finally get a power play. It's 4-2 Idaho. Grizzlies will have Gratton taking the tries out there with Shea and Lebster, and up top is Ty Voigt and Aiden Hansen-Bukata. So 4 forwards, 1 defenseman on this first power play for the Grizzlies in the postseason. Gratton's going to take the face-off against Ty Pelton-Bice. Jade Miller's also on the ice as well. Jardine and Charlie Dodaro. Linesman says, my bad, and we'll do the draw over again. And even 12 minutes left in the third period. All right, Utah wins the draw. Aiden Hansen-Bukata gets it towards Shea. Back to Bukata. One-timer. Glove saved by Mayer. Looked like that shot would have gone wide, but Mayer kind of slid towards his left to make the stop. And that was 6 seconds into the power play. 11:54 is the time remaining here in the third period. It's good to see the Grizzlies get a power play, especially here in the preseason where you want to work on some of these sort of things. Gratton will take the draw. Lebster out there with Voigt. Up top is Shea and Bukata. Idaho wins the draw. They zip it around the far wing wall. Shea couldn't keep it in. Hansen-Bukata with long strides is able to collect the puck behind Wells' net. Bukata wearing number 20 will skate down the middle of the ice, dangling back and forth. He'll drop it for Lebster. Lebster, a good power play forward. Will get to center ice. He'll move to his left for Shea. Shea back to Lebster in the give and go. Skates towards the far goal line. Lebster to Voigt off his stick, and the puck rolls towards Mayer, who covers up. Well, a good concept by the Grizzlies there. They got it to Lebster behind the net. Fed it behind the net to the near goal line for Voigt. Just glanced off his stick towards Mayer, who covered up. 1:28 left in the power play. Grizzlies will switch things up as they have Riley Connors out there with Ricketts and Manning. Ricketts' first name is Jack. Luke Salem and Nick Messner up top. Connors takes the draw. He wins the face-off. Messner will push to Salem. He's in the high slot. Salem back to Messner, is in the right point. He'll skate towards the right circle, take a lefty shot, and goes high over the crossbar. Bouncing puck over Manning's stick as Salem keeps it in. Now Walker will slide it out to neutral ice. Grizzlies reset. Ricketts will skate back into the Grizzly zone and push it to Salem. Salem dancing around the middle of the ice, dangling back and forth. They'll move it to his right for Connors. Connors over the offensive line, skates towards the right goal line. He gets cut off by Zins. Riley Connors trying to regather. He gets cut off by Anderson. Grizzlies push it back up top. Manning. Cross-ice feed off the boards to Messner. Puck kind of bounced off of Messner's stick funny. He's able to regather it and get it to Manning in the left circle. Manning skates towards the corner. Now the Grizzlies get it up top. Salem takes a shot, gets to Manning, back to Salem. High slot, lefty shot, saved by Mayer. Rebound goes out towards the far wing wall. 35 seconds left in the power play. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Left circle, Manning, shoulder fakes. Now gets it to Connors to the left goal line. Back up top to Manning, who slides to Salem. Salem with the blue line near his feet. Over to Messner, back to Salem. Over to Manning, left side. Over to Connors, to Ricketts, swing and miss. Now Messner with a shot. Oh, it's blocked away by Anderson on a great play. 15 seconds left. Salem fires towards the net, and it's sticked away by Anderson, who gets the puck. He'll ricochet the puck off the glass, and it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Matt Anderson, not to be confused with Orlando Magic guard Nick Anderson or the Detroit Tigers closer of 25 years ago. This Matt Anderson might be a keeper for the Steelheads, though. Berg over the offensive line gets double-teamed on the back check. Ports took it away. Up ahead, Janitsev out of the box, skates in, backhand shot, saved by Wells. And he holds on with 9:44 left in the third. Boy, he came out of the penalty box, did Genev, and boy, he had a pretty good look, but Wells made a key save to keep the Grizzlies in it. 9:44 is left in the third period. Idaho leads 4-2. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
9:44 is left in the third period. Idaho leads 4-2. For the latest information on Utah Grizzlies hockey, make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as UtahGrizzlies.com. I think the Grizzlies might still be on Snapchat, and there's definitely superstars on TikTok. You're going to make sure to want to watch the Grizzlies on TikTok as well. Idaho gets the puck as it was an offensive zone draw for the Steelheads, but it went past the defenseman. Idaho resets. Hoffman guides one towards the far corner as Ports collides with Felton behind the net. Utah comes up with Friesen. Friesen with a third period goal for the Grizzlies. It was quickly answered by the Steelheads as Felton gets the puck back. Wearing number 42, Felton gets around Hoffman, gets to center ice with ease. Now he steps over the offensive line, chips it towards his left for Berg. Berge will drop it as the Grizzlies get to the left circle. Lefty shot hits a little bit of the post. Iron unkind as Winslow in the area. It looks like Mayer's covered up. Boy, good job by the Grizzlies. They got an open look with Winslow, skated into the left circle with momentum. Looked like it got a little bit of pipe along with Mayer's stick. Puck ricocheted off the glass behind Idaho's net. Mayer was able to locate the puck and make a stop. So Grizzlies will switch things up, but a pretty good shift by the Grizzlies to get the puck in the offensive zone and do something with it. Grizzlies now regain their top forward line on John Buchanan's lineup card with Gratton, Messner, and Lepster, with Messner taking the draw. Gansky's playing big minutes tonight with Luke Salem. We saw Salem contribute a little bit to the power play. Salem gets the puck. He'll fire towards the net. Save. Rebound shot. Saved by Mayer. And the third attempt was swung and missed by Messner. As Gansky had a pretty good look on the right side, and somehow Mayer was able to make a great save. But there was a rebound attempt by Messner, but he just swung and missed. If Messner would have gotten a piece of it, would have been 4-3. Jardine left side. At the point, he'll take a lefty shot, saved by Wells. Cristodero out in front. It looks like Gansky's getting physical with Cristodero. His brother Charlie, just like on the playground, trying to ward off Gansky. Oh, you're messing with my brother? I'm going to go get you. You want to mess with Gansky? He's 6'7", 205. He's a great skater, and he knows what to do with it. And it looks like a penalty is going to be called on the Steelheads, and it's going to be on Cristodero. He's the only one going to the box. So Utah's going to get a power play with 8:40 left in the third. Cristodero can't believe it. He is pleading his case with Nick Canadi, as Canadi's still in the Idaho penalty box. 2-minute penalty, and the Grizzlies will get their second power play of the third period. It's kind of interesting to watch the Grizzlies power play. It looks like kind of the concepts are a little bit different than what we've seen in past years. Grizzlies in that first power play looked like they were utilizing their speed and open ice a little bit. Who's going to be that finisher? That guy that's going to connect on 10 power play one-timers. Grant will take the draw. We'll see him in front of the net for the majority of this power play if the Grizzlies have in the offensive zone. As a draw, won by the Grizzlies. Lepster at the far goal line, gets to Gratton, who hustles after a loose puck. Gratton out to the left wing, gets around Miller, will take a lefty shot and goes wide. He didn't get all of a lefty wrist shot. Grizzlies get it to the left side. Shea tried to center it towards Lepster. Glanced off of his stick. Both Shea and Lepster were in AHL camp with the Colorado Eagles. Puck up the umps to Bucata, who gets the Shea left side back to Bucata, who's in the left wing. Over to Voigt at the right point. Voigt surveys. He'll move it to the right corner as Gratton gets it back to Voigt. The former Cincinnati Cyclone over to Bucata, who moves to his left. Shea to the left circle. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Mayer. Rebound goes to the Steelheads, and Jade Miller clears it out. Both teams will change up. Riley Connors joins the action. Bucata still on the ice. He'll get it towards Connors. As Connors with it. And so cross center ice. Grizzlies made about a half line change. Connors rolls it along the wall. Shea collides with Zins. They get there about the same time on a loose puck. Puck trickles away. Now Idaho will move it ahead. Steelheads get it with Ports. Nick's his first name. Skates towards the right side. I tried to drop it up, but nobody was home but a Grizzly. Ricketts, 1-on-3 across the center ice. Grizzlies make the rest of that line change as Manning overskates the puck. Now he gets it back. Manning skates towards the right circle. It's nudged away by Anderson, and Zins clears it out. 35 seconds left in Utah's second power play and 7:12 on a moving clock. Idaho leads 4-2. Grizzlies skate around their net. Preseason opener. Both teams will be in Idaho Falls tomorrow. Messner across the center ice tries to negotiate his way around Holmes. Now Messner to the near goal line. He gets cut off by Baum. B-A-U-M his last name. And he will loft it towards the left side. Goes past Salem. Salem loose puck as Hoffman. Salem kicks it deeper in his own zone. Hoffman runs it down as Hoffman knocks down Luke Salem. And now Manning and Hoffman go after it. Hoffman tries to bully Manning. Right side, righty shot goes wide. That was taken by Boltman. Still heads back at full strength. Manning towards center ice. He'll cross center. He gets hacked by Holmes. Now Manning gets dragged around to the Idaho line near side. Berg joins the play. Idaho comes back up with it. Still heads out to center ice, and Hoffman's attacking Manning. Manning didn't drop his gloves, but Hoffman went after Manning. 6:23 left in the third period. There wasn't much that Manning did, but Hoffman found himself in a good spot near the Steelheads bench. And Manning gets after it with Nevers. Nevers is standing on the Steelheads bench. It's kind of easier to be intimidating when you're on your own bench. Manning, though, is going to go to the penalty box for defending himself. That's all he was doing, it looked like. And Hoffman, I got to imagine he's going to the box as well. 6:23 is left in the third period. I'd be really shocked if Hoffman didn't go to the box, as Manning just kind of got spun around by two Steelheads, and Hoffman went after him. Manning was on the ground, and Hoffman cross-checked Manning while he was on the ground. And then Manning got to his feet, and Hoffman attacked him. That's really what happened. They show the replay, and yet somehow Manning's in the box. What did Luke Manning do? That's a mystery to people watching this thing. They're kind of rooting for the team in black, white, and professional green. I'm still not sure what Manning did. Well, Manning's coming out of the penalty box. Maybe they saw the video replay and realized that, oh, Manning's going to go to the locker room. Did he get a misconduct? What did Manning do? Now, we don't like being that broadcast that gets on officiating. I'm still trying to figure out what Luke Manning did. Hoffman has 2 minutes. It looks like Grizzlies are going to get another power play potentially, as Hoffman has 2 minutes listed on the scoreboard. 6:23 is left in the third period. Manning looks like he's going to get an early shower, and I'm not entirely sure what for. But it's 4-2 Idaho. It looks like the Grizzlies will get a power play, though. There's 6:23 left in the third period, and it looks like the Penn State product, Geneyev, is going to go to the box to represent him. But I'm still trying to figure out what Luke Manning did. We might have to look at that after the game. So it's going to be a 2-minute power play for the Grizzlies as they look to climb back into this one. Idaho leads 4-2. Ness will take the draw for the Grizzlies against Jade Miller. Bucata and Shea are up top, and Voigt and Lepster down low. Utah wins the draw. Lepster moves to Bucata up top, right point. He pedals towards the high side, takes lefty shot, saved by Mayer as Malmquist and Shea collide. Puck goes back up top and kept in. Now Voigt walks in right side, looks to center it towards Ness, and the Steelheads cut him off, but they can't clear it out. Bukata in the high slot. Over to Lebster. He's in the right circle. Dangles back and forth. That back up top to Shea. Shea skates towards the left circle, dangling back and forth. Now he stops at the left goal line. Pivots. He feeds it back up top to Bukata. Now back to Shea. Left circle, take a lefty shot. And it's blocked away by Mayer, and it goes out of play. 5:48 left in the third. So Grizzlies will switch things up. So will the Steelheads. Manning was on one of those two power play units. The Grizzlies are going to have to kind of have a makeshift power play line. Reese is going to take the draw. This would probably be Manning's spot where he would take the draw. Reese, obviously, and the Grizzlies do. You can see the depth that the Grizzlies have in terms of forwards based on how many good power play options they have. Utah wins a draw. Messner slot. His shot is blocked. That was blocked by C.J. Walker. He blocked a ton of shots last year for Idaho. Ricketts, he's in the high slot, dangling back and forth. He backpedals towards the right point, gets the Messner, now back to Ricketts. Over to Salem. He will spin it towards the left side. Now back up top to Salem. He's near the blue line, pedals towards the line from Connors, and it's sticked away by Idaho, who anticipated the play, and the puck goes back towards the Utah line. Salem gets the puck. Grizzlies reset. He'll move to his left. Friesen guides into the zone. He gets taken off the puck by Boltman. Boltman couldn't clear it out. It's gloved and dropped by Salem. He gets to Friesen. Now back up top to Salem. He'll move with Messner on the right side. Messner back across to Salem. High slot. He fakes a shot. Gets to Friesen left side. Now over to Messner. Right circle. He centers it towards Ricketts. It gets sniped away. Now high slot. Salem shot. And that one's blocked away by Mayer. Less than 5 minutes left in regulation. Salem has it. Left side. Now he gets to Friesen. He moves to the far goal line for Connors. So take a righty shot. Saved by Mayer. Grizzlies get it to Ricketts. Gets held up. Connors spins it along the far wing wall, but nobody's home. Puck goes back to the Utah blue line. Idaho makes a line change. Grizzlies prepare for life after the power play. 5 seconds left in the man advantage. Connors gets the puck. Less than 4.5 minutes left in the third. Idaho's out of the box. Connors towards the middle. The Steelheads come up with it. Mitch Wall throws it across. Picked off by Fitz. Tried to slide it towards Messner, but he was still in the Steelhead zone, so he couldn't play the puck. About 4 minutes left. Idaho leads 4-2 here in the preseason opener. Both teams have scored 2 5-on-5 goals. The difference is 2 Idaho power play goals. And it's taking the puck as Christian Felton as Idaho dumped it in. Berg has a glance off him as he was trying to locate the Felton pass. Now Anderson with the puck, he'll slide it up top. Zen's in the high slot. Will move to his right. As the Steelheads. Puck bounced off the stick of it. He still had this Chris Tadero, who's got 2 goals. He couldn't handle it. That's about the only thing he's done wrong tonight. Berg over the offensive line, skates towards the left circle, takes a lefty shot, and it's sticked away by Zenz. Felton gets hit in the back by Wall. As Bukata will bounce one off of Anderson's skate. Taking the puck is Felton, right wing. Skates towards the circle, now to the right goal line, over to Ness. His righty shot didn't get much on it as Wall took his time and space away. 3:13 on a moving clock. Starting pass to Voigt off his stick. He tried to guide it towards Mayer, and it was blocked about 5 feet in front of the netminder. As Grizzlies will switch things up, Lemaster will replace Felton. Grizzlies have it right fresh off the bench. Lemaster, righty shot, and that one's blocked. As a Steelhead stick broke. That's going to be the end of the shift as Nevers enters. Less than 3 minutes left. As Dylan Wells is still in net for the Grizzlies. Puck slides towards the near side. Now Wobble stays in the Idaho zone. Lemaster collects the puck. He'll skate towards the left corner, drops for Voigt. He'll feed it back up top to Bukata. Bukata's trying to get to Shea and fanned on a pass. Idaho enters the offensive zone 2-on-4. Steelheads drop it off as Charlie Dodaro is shot, saved by Wells. Rebound, Grizzlies collect it and clear it back towards the near wing wall. Webster the puck 3-on-3 across the center ice, trying to get to Voigt, but it was overled for him. As Wells is still in net. He tries to communicate with Buchanan, but Buchanan is looking into the Steelhead zone. Puck is lifted, and it bounces at center ice. Noah Gansky with the puck. 2:10 on a moving clock. Idaho leads 4-2. Can the Grizzlies find a way to climb back into this one? Turnover, Idaho from the far corner. Sharp angled shot hits the side of the net. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Idaho from right to left is Gansky. Will sky it about 15 feet in the air. Goes over the head of Jardine. As Idaho will slide it back into the Grizzlies zone. It's collected by Winslow. Over to Fitz to bounce off the far wing wall. Fitz gets his own pass as he spins away from Kanadi. Gets to Messner. We'll move it ahead to neutral ice. Kanadi collides with Ricketts. Ricketts gets divorced from the puck. Felton around Wells' net towards the far side. Big time hit. Felton, but it was Pelton Bice that goes down as he tried to belt Felton. Grizzlies into the offensive zone. Wells is still in there. 1:23 left in the third period. Very surprised. As Messner towards the right side gets up top to Felton. Felton dances towards by Felton. Bice. Fitz gets the puck, and Wells is still in there. Fitz with a backhand crafty shot that's sticked away by Mayer. As Fitz delivers a hit, Bucata will spin it along the wall. Messner, 1 minute left in the third period as he gets hit by Boltman. As Boltman loses his stick, he gets it back. Wells is still in there as Bucata gets the puck. Far circle across to Lemaster. Lemaster tried to stick it away. He tried to cross-ice pass. Malmquist stuck it away. As we have 45 seconds left. Lemaster over to Connors. He tried to get it towards Friesen. Friesen gets around to Anderson. Tried to center it to Connors. It's stick away. Connors in the right corner. Gets it back up top. Lemaster over towards Salem. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Mayer. He holds on with 30.7 seconds left in the third. And Wells is still in net for the Grizzlies. It will take a miracle for the Grizzlies to find a way. Although there was that miracle during Luke Manning's pro debut where the Grizzlies overcame a 4-1 deficit, scoring 3 goals in 68 seconds. They just need 2 goals in 30 seconds. And I am genuinely surprised that Dylan Wells is still in there. He has not been pulled for the extra attacker. Down 2 with 30 seconds left. As a draw won by Idaho as they loft it. And puck goes, Dylan Wells raises his arm and icing is on these Steelheads. TJ Walker was about step and step with Salem, but as we've heard officials say from time to time, if it's even, they're going to call icing for player safety reasons. That's why it was called icing there when Walker believed it should have been waved off. 23 seconds left in the third period. Wells is still in net. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 36-33. They've had some good looks. Mayer's played a good game in net, and the special teams really have made the difference. Both teams have 2 5-on-5 goals, but it's the 2 power play goals the Steelheads have. That's made the difference in the game. Idaho wins the draw, and they will loft it out to center ice. It goes into the Steelheads bench. Nick Canati locates the puck, and he will toss it to somebody in the seats. And it looks like somebody in row 2 will come away with a souvenir frozen vulcanized rubber disc. And now that person's trying to find where the puck is. The guy with the beard says it's right there. 18.4 seconds left. Grizzlies have a first period goal from Mick Messner and a third period goal from Evan Friesen. Messner's goal was unassisted, shorthanded. Friesen's goal, 2:23 into the third, was assisted by Fitz and Salem. Idaho wins the draw, and it's been the Dodaro brothers. Chris Dodaro, 2 goals, 1 assist. Charlie Dodaro, 1 assist. Idaho has the puck as Miller gets held up by Ness near corner. Now to Connors, right side, will take a righty shot that goes wide. As Gansky collides with a Steelhead, 2 seconds left, and that will do it as Idaho wins the preseason opener 4-2. As the Dodaro brothers are going to be first star, no doubt. Danny Genev had 1 goal and 1 assist, and Nolan Mayer had a good game for Idaho, stopping 34 of 36. Dylan Wells ends the night, saving 29 of 33 for the Grizzlies. Aiden Hansen, Bucata, and Neil Shea led the club with 4 shots. Actually, looks like Luke Salem led Utah with 6 shots on goal. Salem, Hansen, Bucata, as well as Noah Gansky and Reed Lebster were each a +1 for the Grizzlies tonight. So Utah will look for a little bit of revenge tomorrow night in Idaho Falls at Mountain America Center as the Steelheads thank their fans that showed up, and it was just about a sellout crowd. A very impressive preseason crowd here at Idaho Central Arena. So the Grizzlies have to feel good with the way they played 5-on-5, scoring a couple goals, but as we mentioned, the 2 power play goals made the difference in the game. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. Once again, the final from Idaho Central Arena. It's the Steelheads 4 and the Grizzlies 2. It's the Utah Grizzlies.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, It's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day hassle road hazard protection and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more.
Idaho wins 4-2 in the preseason opener, as the Grizzlies will look for a little bit of revenge tomorrow night in Idaho Falls. Steelheads got on the board first as Chris Dodaro scored on a rebound from a Sam Jardine shot, and it was 5-13 into the contest. Idaho got a power play after Riley Connors got a cross-check minor 6-19 in. Grizzlies scored a shorthanded goal on an amazing individual effort by Mick Messner, who anticipated the puck going towards a high slot, knifed the puck away before the Steelheads were able to get it. Puck slid into the Steelhead zone in the left wing. Messner won a foot race, got the puck, skated towards his right to the front of the Steelheads net and fired a beautiful backhand shot past Nolan Mayer, and that tied it up at 6:52 into the first. Less than a minute later, Idaho continued their power play, and it was a very common play that they've run for many years. Throw the puck to one goal line, then a cross crease pass the other way, and it was Danny Geniev who scored his first pro goal. Obviously, it's a preseason game, so it doesn't really count, but Geniev had a great game with 1 goal and 1 assist. He scored from the right wing. Chris Dodaro and Mitch Wall picked up the assists. Idaho led 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Grizzlies did outshoot the Steelheads 11-9 through 20 minutes. The only second period goal was scored by Charlie Dodaro. It was a power play goal, 10:55 in. Geniev and Charlie Dodaro's brother, Chris Dodaro's brother Charlie, picked up the assists. So that made it a 3-1 game, and that's where it stood after 40 minutes of play. Grizzlies got back on the board as Friesen scored 2:23 in, with Dylan Fitz and Luke Salem getting the assists. But the Steelheads responded less than a minute and a half later. It was 3:41 in when Mason Nevers found the back of the net for the first time in the preseason. Nick Canati got the assist. It was 3:41 into the third. It was a 4-2 game. Grizzlies did get a couple power plays later in the third period, but they finished 0-2 on the man advantage. 13:37 into the third period. Manning got 2 for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. I guess the roughing was for defending himself, and the misconduct was for, I'm not sure, because all Luke Manning looked like he did was try to defend himself as he was trying to ward off 3 Steelheads. That's a little bit confusing. Hoffman got a double minor for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. The double minor is why the Grizzlies had a power play late in the third period. Utah did outshoot Idaho 36-33. Luke Salem led the way with 6 shots on goal. Connors, Fitz, Hanson, Bukata, and Shea each had 4 shots for the Grizzlies. We mentioned it just before the post-game show, but there were 4 Grizzlies that were a +1 tonight, and that was Luke Salem along with Aiden Hanson, Bukata, Noah Gansky, and Reed Lepster. All 4 of those players were a plus performer for the Grizzlies tonight. For Idaho, it really was the Charlie Dodaro show. Chris Dodaro. I think there was a Charlie Dodaro, and obviously that's his brother. We've been getting the Dodaro brothers confused all night. 3 stars of the game. Nolan Mayer. They always say every year it's preseason for everyone. Had to get that cliche out of the way at some point. Nolan Mayer is the 3rd star. He saved 34 of 36. Danny Geniev is the 2nd star. He had 1 goal, 1 assist. He had 3 shots. It was a +1. And the number 1 star is Chris, don't call me Charlie Dodaro. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. He was a +1, had 2 shots. He even had 2 penalty minutes. We did it all for the Steelheads. In fact, during the second intermission, he actually sold popcorn in the concession stands. There wasn't anything he didn't do tonight, and he is the number 1 star of the game. Well, looks like we'll get on a bus, head to Idaho Falls for the second preseason game as the Grizzlies will take on these same Steelheads. And faceoff's going to be at about 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage will be at 6:45. And we're going to have a ton of fun here all season long. Obviously, this is the Grizzlies' final hunt. And, I think if the Grizzlies play like this 5-on-5 for most of the games, they're going to be a good team. As we mentioned during the intermission, It's a whole new defensive unit. Grizzlies do have quite a few returning forwards, but for the most part, they really, they really found a way to battle here tonight. Really the difference in the game is the 2 Idaho power play goals. But we'll just see what happens tomorrow. Obviously, with preseason games, as much as you want to kind of hype them up the way you can, they don't count in the standings, but nevertheless. It's certainly good for the Grizzlies to get some work in, work on the penalty kill, work on the power play, work on some of those situational things. And that's just part of the preseason. And, we saw the Utah Mammoth kind of have an up and down preseason for the Grizzlies. If they find a way to win tomorrow and split the preseason, they'd certainly be happy with that. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We're certainly going to be in a fun setting at Mountain America Center. We know we're going to be on YouTube for sure for the audio broadcast. We're hoping Flow Sports can get back to us and we can have a Flow Sports broadcast as well. Well, that'll about wrap things up as we've had a good time here at Idaho Central Arena. Remember, the Grizzlies' home opener is just 15 days from now, October 25th, against the same Idaho Steelheads team. The Grizzlies will be on the road for the first 4 games of the 25-26 season. Next Friday, they'll be in Greenville to face the Swamp Rabbits and former Grizzly Keaton Mastrodonato. And then the Grizzlies will face the Atlanta Gladiators on Saturday and Sunday of next week. And then the Grizzlies will be back here 2 weeks from now to take on the Steelheads. And it's going to be a home-and-home series. Friday the 24th will be here. And then Saturday the 25th will be the Grizzlies' home opener at Maverick Center. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast and not necessarily the final outcome. Once again, in 2 hours and 28 minutes and in front of a good crowd of 4,176. Not quite a sellout, but certainly a good preseason crowd. Grizzlies got a shorthanded goal from Mick Messer on a great individual effort. Evan Friesen scored a third-period goal. And the Grizzlies had some moments, 5-on-5, where they looked pretty strong. In fact, both teams had exactly 2 goals, 5-on-5. We'll catch you tomorrow night, 6:45 pregame show. Face off at about 7:05 in the Mountain Time Zone. Until then, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.